ahead and unmute us now. So we are muted now. Welcome back.
The horror continues.
Yeah. So I think my headphones are starting to die.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So that's not good.
Get the earbuds.
It's kind of like going in one ear and then back to two ears and then back to just one ear working. It's good. Yeah. I've had these headphones for like.
So I'm currently using a pair of earbuds I found on the side of the street.
Yep.
3 years ago.
I've had these things for like 6 years. They're good. My stepbrother gave them to me because he was like moving out, and he's like, "Yeah, you can just have them." They're decent enough, but I don't know.
I'd say just get some like $60-$70.
Yeah, these at the time were like
set.
$50, I think, but they are.
Like I'd say,
kinda
just get a
old.
headset without a mic, but you probably would want one with a mic for when you travel,
Maybe we'll
so
see.
you don't have to worry about taking your other
Yeah.
one.
In any case, though, we're back for the second half of the stream. So the plan is now that Nox is officially a member of nobility.
The nobility.
Yeah, and you guys are given all the stuff you need. Anna, if Anna's the one who's going to be doing the talking on behalf of Nox, then you would be given like a letter with like instructions of like what to sort of say, basically outlining what the Duke wants in case you forget. Basically saying like the basic pretense is that you're going to be approaching under is that you're looking to discuss the continued sort of relations between Aver and Felling. Basically asking the Duke of Aver if he'll not actively work against Felling, the Duke of Felling.
A non-hostility pact, basically.
Yeah, basically being like, and it would kind of be under the pretense of, oh, there's all this conflict going on and instability, and now with the attack on Thurbyshire, then we should work together a little more, even if we haven't had the best relations in the past. Something like that. Anyways, so is the plan just to go? Are you guys gonna? Is the plan to go to that?
I believe we're stopping in Mirthfield.
Okay, you're gonna do that on the way instead of on the way back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's up to you guys. Yeah.
It's a short detour.
He said it's not, the time frame isn't real strict, and
Yeah.
it's on the way. We might end up having to go somewhere else after this anyway.
Okay. So,
Yes. Are there any other places down south here that anyone else has reasons to go to while we're at it?
I want to go get myself some KFC.
We did say that with the in Halfdale Rest there is the thing there. Yeah.
Yeah,
That, you
but
were told.
I don't think we'll...
I don't think we had anything else pushing us there.
Yeah, so Darren
Yeah.
and the Brave, the halfling you guys had saved twice at the end, he had told you, sort of after making fun of you, not making fun, but like basically being like, I could have definitely handled that, even though he definitely couldn't have. It seemed like he kind of had a moment of sincerity and basically said, go see my cousin Emanod, ask for him in Halfdale Rest, and you'll be taken care of.
So,
I
yeah,
still
if
say we should have put him back so he can get out himself.
One day we might have the chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably find him hanging from a tree upside down or something. We'll just like leave him tied up. Like, you got this, bud.
I thought that was going to take a much darker turn.
Yeah, so
Hanging
So-
upside down like the Fool card, not like the fucking Hanged Man.
yeah. So you guys are free to go then. You'd all be, if you don't have a horse, you'd be provided with one.
Provide my own horse.
Well,
So
several of us have already been provided horses.
Yep.
We got a cart too, don't we?
now Ollie gets a horse.
Mm-hmm.
We do have
Yeah.
a cart, don't we? That's getting pulled by one of the horses. I swear we do.
I think so. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Can we
It's hard to
afford a
remember.
wagon?
Funny thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Somebody-
Fun.
Well, I only have like 370.
It's more just like who wants to afford it.
The way
Or what now?
You know, a wagon. But why would we need it?
Yeah.
We don't have.
and if
We have like a lot of people.
without the wagon, you'd be able to travel a
Mainly
little faster on the
wagon.
roads too. With all the
How much are
horses
ponies
galloping.
again?
I don't actually know. Hold on, let me look. Are you gonna get a pony for
Yeah, I don't want to like lug him around.
Get him a
forever.
mastiff.
a pony is
Oh,
30
yeah.
gold.
Just ride around with him.
But
like, ride
the
his
thing
side
is,
saddle the whole time.
would you want to get a riding pony? Get a
That is
pony.
like the intention of them.
Well, yeah, but no, I mean like ponies go slower than riding horses or war horses. But I could give you a
they're
riding
small.
pony, a pony trained for fast riding. They would probably it would cost more. It'd be like 50 gold instead of 30. But and it would have 60 feet of movement. But they would definitely actually have those here for the halflings in this area. There'd definitely be a stable that offered some halfling ready riding
Sure.
ponies.
I'll buy him a fucking riding pony for now,
It's-
and he can
yeah.
pay me back later.
Yeah, it'll cost you 50 gold. Just use a riding horse stat block if it's necessary, but just we'll know that it's a little smaller.
Yeah, we'll just until it matters, we'll know that he has a riding pony.
Yeah.
Goodbye, gold.
Anyways, though, so
Get that little fucker off my horse. Can't hit for shit anyway.
yeah. So the question is that the plan? You guys will go a couple days to Mirthville and then a couple more days to Everton?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we'll figure out where that shrine is, so who knows how long that'll take.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. So, give me a second. Let me look at my notes real quick.
We should be in quote-unquote the safe part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Hooray.
So you guys, the first leg on basically until you get to Staberfeld is no problem. After this point, the roads get a little more dangerous. The woods start to get thicker, and it gets a little less populous as you go on too. Once you get off the road in between those towns there in the Halfleshire, once you get off the roads, it's like it's just forest really. It's not like there's many farms spread out. It's really only along the roads and in the areas near the towns that there's little nuclei of farming communities. So, with that being said, I'm gonna have you guys roll me a d12, which I haven't done in a while.
I'll do it.
All right.
10.
Okay. So your travel, it passes without incident. You guys pass other travelers on the way, and maybe you hear a few rumors. They'll be like, everyone is talking to me about the attack on Derbyshire, and people seem to be worried about that. And as you're passing travelers, the road between Fellington and Averton it's actually a major road. Even if it's hemmed in pretty closely by trees, it's a well-kept up road, which is part of the reason I'm letting, that I've told you guys that travel time is much quicker on it as opposed to other roads, and a little bit safer as well. But yeah, so you pass plenty of other traders and travelers that are bringing stuff towards Fellington by road, and yeah, you hear these rumors. Other than that, it passes fine. You guys get to Mirthville after on the morning of the third day of travel.
All right.
We
And
get where?
Mirthville.
Mirthville.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What's the plan here?
I
Well,
guess
Anna, we've made it here. Where's this shrine?
that's what we need to find out. Is there a mayor's house of some sort, or
Yeah, there is like a landed lord, like a landed knight here. Yeah, and he's under the count of the Halfleshire. But there is absolutely a landed knight who rules this little place. There's a tiny keep in the center of the town, not a huge one, really just big enough to squeeze in all the townsfolk if there's an attack or something.
I guess if it seems like he'd be able to just have us as visitors briefly, I'd ask him since
Okay.
his territory.
Yeah. Let me find a name real quick.
Knew it was coming.
I didn't think I need this, but I will come up with one real
I
quick.
can't wait.
Traverse.
What's this county we're in?
The Haffelshire.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah. The Lord's name you find out from someone at the edge of the town is Flinnim. He's a halfling. As lots of the like lords of this area are. His name is Flinnim the halfling. They actually they call him Flinnim the Fletcher. And you are totally able to reach him. They'll let you see him. His hall in his little keep here is just actually a pretty simple hall. It has a wooden roof. It doesn't even have any stone roofs or anything like that. It's a pretty simple little hall, but it's nice looking. There's like a fireplace in one corner, and a little like carpet that leads up to a little meeting area where people will be brought in if they have to ask him anything. It's a nice little hall, and Flinnim is here. Lord Flinnim of Mirthfield is here. He's dressed nicely enough, and he will stand up and greet you all as you enter and be like, "Oh, welcome. I had heard we had visitors. I did not necessarily expect there to be so many of you."
Yes, we were traveling through, and there's a matter I'd wish to ask you about in your territory.
May I ask where you're traveling from? Under whose banner?
The Lord of Fellington.
Oh, Duke Mortain. I have a great respect for him.
Yes, the reason we're here is... have you heard of the cult of Scleravrak?
I cannot say that I have. No, I'm sorry.
Well, they're a rather unsavory group that have been having increased activity recently, and there's a shrine outside of your city that apparently has some relation to that.
A shrine. I know of a tale of such a shrine, but never in relation to any order or anything. Do you know... Well, what do you know of this shrine?
Fuck, I don't think they really told me any detail
No?
other than...
I don't think so either. I think they basically just told you it's like west of there or near there. In the note it says northwest, but I don't think they told you anything about the direction. They just said it's near there.
All I know is it's near your town, and this cult has reason to be interested in it.
There are tales of a shrine near here, rumors, that have always floated around for a couple hundred years now, actually. But there was nothing about a cult or humans at all, even. This shrine, supposedly, was left by our fellow neighbors and inhabitants of the forest here. The centaurs.
Was there also word of any sort of artifacts in this shrine? I believe that's what they would be after.
We just know that the centaurs stored, supposedly at least, they stored their secrets there, or stored something there, and then that was actually when they left. Supposedly they left knowledge or valuables or something there as they prepared to move out of the island to Keldia.
Well, that certainly sounds like something the Order would be looking into.
He
Considering
is-
what they were up to in Fellington.
He's like, I have no idea anything about this order, as I mentioned, but if you can find the shrine, anything in there is yours. It was never ours, never the halflings or the humans. to be for that matter. To begin with, it was the centaurs, and again, only rumors have floated around. No one's ever actually seen the place.
Well,
Supposedly it
thank you
was
for
near
the
here.
information. I suppose we can spend the rest of the day, perhaps two, to search for it, but I don't know if we'll have the greatest luck after 200 years of others searching for it.
He would say that, yeah, like he would actually tell you that the last thing he would say is that your best luck, if you're trying to find something and no one else has found it, would be to go like straight northwest deeper into the woods there, straight southwest in the woods there, or straight east. Those are the directions that will lead to the most wilderness quickest. So.
And we'll look to Snow. I mean, she's the only woodsy person we have left, I believe.
I mean, I'm not exactly woodsy.
Yeah.
You
it's
came from
true.
an uninhabited island, so...
You're more mountainy, yeah.
I mean, it's only uninhabited from our perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's inhabited by a big spooky thing.
Big spooky thing. So, does anyone fancy traipsing through the woods looking for a forgotten shrine?
Well, it'll
I mean,
be a
like-
nice diversion from, say, from... Okay,
I'd definitely be up for it, but you know.
I see that Darwin knows the ways of surviving. at least.
Darwin, he would be like, I've spent more than my share of time in the woods, even in not too far from here. Never been to Mirthfield before, but I passed through once, but never spent time in the woods here. But I could probably lead us around in the woods a bit. Not get us
got
too
some
lost.
survival too.
Okay.
I also
yeah.
have survival.
That's what you haven't added to his
Yeah.
character sheet, the Outlander feature.
I
Oh,
also have survival.
Look at us, fucking prepared.
Outlander.
So
Survival is used to track, and I track the horrors of this world.
The horrors?
Yes, I am Tusano now.
Man, I know exactly, I know exactly where you can find them.
oh my. Well.
See, I prefer to track them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they'll let you do whatever you want.
Oh my god.
I guess we could travel to
You could even have them make fake noises while.
we could travel to
do
the
whatever.
to the southeast and check the woods on our way to Averton. Just come out the other side.
True, although if we find nothing in we'd have to backtrack if we want to find this shrine.
Hey Miles, make me another intelligence-based check.
Okay. Is this related to recalling information about fiends, undead, or...
No. This is remembering if you...
This is just a memory.
Just
River-
check.
remembering that fucking note that you have.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
doing another memory check.
20.
Hey!
Hey.
So after talking to this this lord, then while
Miles
you're like
goes, wait a minute.
while you're running like while you're walking out of this dude's hall, you're like, wait a minute, this has been ringing a bell. I just haven't been able to determine what. And you're like, all of a sudden, like, wait a minute, it said something about this on the note. And
Which note?
see,
You have a note that you picked up
It's
in the
the
monastery
notes-
after...
Go to
we-
handouts.
Yeah, I
This
just don't
one.
know which note it
Oh,
was.
hey, there it is.
this
That
one. About halfway down or a little less. I was
Hey,
like, I don't really-
northwest. Look where we're
I
going.
am going to pull the note from my bag, unfold it, and read it. Well, Anna, if you are so inclined to find this shrine, I think I might know where it is.
Oh, how?
A note I have.
I know.
About a day's northwest of here. Bottom of a large rock outcropping.
As you basically verbatim probably read or say things from the note, I'm like, oh, that note. Since we've all read it at some
yeah.
point.
It rings a bell now.
Fucking facepalm. Well, assuming they haven't managed to loot it, we probably want to keep whatever's in it from them.
Agreed.
Especially since the last time we were in a shrine, we found that shield.
Maybe we'll find another.
Another
I hope
shield
not.
of Felling.
Oh, you never know.
Okay.
You do never know.
Well, hopefully it avoids any current stigma since it is apparently centaur artifacts.
The good thing is we've got all day to start heading out.
Yes.
So let's fucking get started.
Okay.
It's been a while since we've gone out in the woods.
Okay. Sounds
Off-roading, boys.
good. So yeah, so sounds good. Make me I would say to have someone in the party, you guys can choose, make me a survival check to see how well you
Who has
find
the highest
I
survival?
have a 5.
Okay. Yeah, to find
3.
your way through the woods quickly.
Uh,
You'll get there no matter what. At this point, since you know which direction you're going, it's going to be how fast you get there.
And hey,
I
Darwin
mean-
will keep us from getting lost.
we could have the other survival boys assist
Yep.
the elf.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep. Yeah.
Alright,
making
I suppose
sure
Darwin
I am
would
the
probably
highest.
offer to help.
Yeah, Darwin would like help you. He would let you lead the way, but he would like give you tips like, "Oh, you don't want to go here. Look at those how those trees get thicker right there." Stuff like that. So you'll have advantage.
Okay. I will roll with advantage. Boom.
23.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. So give me a second here. So yeah, there are it does not take you long at all actually to reach to reach a point where you can actually see. It takes only maybe 2-3 hours actually. It seems like that note was maybe talking about on foot first off, and you guys make it through with the horse. So it actually only takes until midday or so, maybe a little past midday, to find a place where you can see the large rock outcropping that was talked about in the note. However, it's a little ways off, and it seems like the trees get quite thick here. And the trees in this area, this part of the forest is pretty much untouched. A lot of the stuff here really is really thick forest. The trees are much larger here than you have seen in other places. So, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
so let's go then.
Okay, so you keep going.
We're going.
Home is where the portable hut is.
Correct.
So 2, I'd like you to make me just a wisdom check, a flat wisdom check.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on, just do one at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So, so you start heading off, and then as you start heading off towards this large outcropping, then it's sort of obscured by the trees as the trees get really thick, and like there are big trees all around you, almost like crowding you in. You go for about 15 minutes, and don't see the outcropping, and after maybe another 2 or 3 minutes, you come to a clearing, and you realize this clearing is the one that you just left a few minutes ago. You can see the outcropping again.
Leading us in circles, huh?
Are you feeling alright?
I muttered in Sylvan.
What do you say?
I don't feel like it's important.
I mutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. And then do you go back and try it again?
Yep.
Okay. This time I'm actually not gonna make you have a wisdom check. I'm gonna make you have a perception check, a normal perception check this time.
Does a 15 beat it though?
Not everything has a passive DC.
Yeah. I would say roll for this time.
Okay.
I'm assuming whatever's going on, obviously the character isn't aware that they're testing their
16 is
things
good.
against what's happening.
So this time you're going and you're specifically now like looking out, like paying much more attention actively this time, and you realize that all the trees.
I'm an idiot. I didn't do that before.
But you realize that lots of these large trees are placed in ways that seem, it's like there's almost like these it purposely is putting up obstacles, like these large trees are sort of barring the paths that lead in the right direction. And you can easily see now that you're going through again and going around again, you can see why it was that you got turned around last time. It's just like the forest almost seems to be crafted in a way that turns you away from this area. But since you're perceiving it now, you definitely this time can like see exactly the way you need to go. You just need to like, it's gonna be a little rougher. You're gonna have to dismount off your horses probably, or gonna have to make them do like a leap and a dash to jump over like a set of brambles and stuff.
I see.
We can leave the horses.
You could keep going around and maybe find a different place that it's easy to get through, but there definitely seems to be almost like a natural wall here. It's up to you guys.
I dismount my horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave my horse to watch the other horses, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just suckers.
Sounds good. So, okay. Sounds Gucci. So as you guys,
horse is all dead.
When you guys, so you make it through like this set of brambles or past like you climbing over this big set of roots that was sort of blocking the way, and you get over, and on the other side it seems to thin out a little bit, but the forest still is pretty thick here, and now you can actually see the rock outcropping again through the trees. It's a short distance away this time. One of you guys roll a d6 for me.
I put the space in the wrong place. I got a 6.
Okay. So you guys, after making it through this little gap in that tree wall or sort of natural barrier, you guys start going with, I guess, 2 leading the way?
Probably.
All right. When all of a sudden, this very, very large tree, about 30 feet away from you guys, starts to move. And you see a face sort of appear out of the side, or it like turns a little bit, and you see this big face, and this thing.
Do I know what this is?
Roll me a nature check.
Out of curiosity, is this a fey creature?
I don't think these actually count as. I think they're just plants. I don't think they're like fey. Let me think.
Look at their stat block.
Yeah, it says huge plant. So. I would
Not a
say
fey.
I would say not.
That's
Even though
not a fey.
yeah, I would say
Alright, well, I got a nat 20.
Oh jeez. Yeah, you've maybe in relation to fey stuff you've heard about these things before, because they certainly are related, even if these things are technically fey creatures. You definitely know this is
Stupid folk might think they are.
this is a
But not me.
This is definitely a tree ant, and it is huge. It's like a giant tree, you know, and it's and it sort of bends its face down towards you all, and is like.
What would I know about tree ants? Would I know if they are hostile typically?
To be honest, so the 20 is like a really good roll, but you still wouldn't know a ton. You've certainly never run into one before, but you've read stuff about them. Normally they aren't hostile immediately, but they can be hostile at times. It kind of depends on the situation.
I'm going to step forward and say, Treant, what is it that you want?
What language do you say that in?
Sylvan.
Okay. And it looks
That's
at
the
you.
closest to their language I know.
And it's squinting down, and it responds to you in Sylvan. And it says, "Why do you enter this glade? I have not seen your type in many, many decades."
Is that tree talking?
I
I turn around
so.
and comment. I say, "Yes, this is a treant."
And
what?
And it kind of looks at you guys, and then it speaks in common, well, Aldish, whatever. It's like that is the common tongue here. It speaks in Aldish, and it's like, although it's actually probably an antiquated Aldish. It's a little bit weird sounding, but it's like, you all should not be here.
And why is that?
This is not your native land, and this is not your glade or your shrine.
Well, for one, I'd like to dispute your first claim. I was born on this island. That
I
makes
was
this my
also
native
born
land.
on this island.
This area of this land is not meant for you.
Please, we just need to get inside to have a look around. We fear people who would wish to meddle with this land are coming here, or have already come here.
Our good friends, the centaurs, they asked us to guard this place. And guard it I will. They may... for what reason should I let you go in?
Well, there is an insane order of people who worship northern gods who are aware of your shrine and are seeking to use it for whatever purposes they want to use it for. And we aim to stop them.
Before yesterday, the last time any creature had come here was a goblin a few months ago, and we decided to let him see the entrance of the shrine. My companion
what?
did.
A goblin.
Goblin.
My companion elected to let him see the shrine, the entrance, because he knew the goblin, if he went in, would not make it out alive. But you all, I cannot let you enter. As of yesterday, our mission, my mission, is even more important.
As of
What
yesterday.
happened yesterday?
They came back.
Who came back?
Not the ones who gave us the mission to protect this place asked us. We did it out of the kindness of our hearts and for the forest. But their kin, their descendants, many generations have passed since they left, but they are here now.
Centaurs?
Yes.
What would I know about centaurs, if anything?
So I'd already told, I think, all you guys that they were one of the native races to the islands here as well, and they lived alongside like the halflings and stuff, or got along well enough at least.
So they have like equal claim to being the old people of this island to the halflings.
And it would be sort of common knowledge, so you guys don't have to roll for this tidbit, that centaurs have not existed natively here. Like maybe you'll see one in the Halfleshire occasionally who is a guest in one of the towns, very rarely. But normally, but it's been like a couple hundred or 300, 400 years since the rest of the centaurs, most of the centaurs of the island left. They actually left to the Western Isle. That's only, or full halfling ruled. Most of them moved there.
You're saying the centaurs came back to this island. No one noticed.
I do not know. I did not ask them. I welcomed them back to a glade that was theirs originally and ours to borrow and guard for them as friends.
Perhaps we could meet these centaurs then.
They are at the shrine. But why should I let you go see them?
Well, probably because we were just on our way to the shrine. And what a coincidence, the centaurs are there.
How do I know that you are not part of this group you speak of, and passing yourself off as a friend of ours?
Would you, dear Treant, let me pass alone,
And
leaving my weapons with my companions?
You speak the tongue of the centaurs and of one of the tongues that we speak, the woodland creatures. How do you come by that knowledge?
There are beings related to your sort that cause problems for those of my sort, humans and the like.
The
I deal
woodlands,
with those.
the woodlands defends itself.
Yes, but sometimes it goes a little bit too far. I wish not to harm the woodlands, just to protect my homeland as you would yours.
I'm going to speak up in Sylvan and say, yeah, us woodland creatures defend ourselves against people like you.
He's like, he looks at you and he's like, I know you are an elf, but elves are also not native to this land. They are like humans.
What
You
about
may-
this one then? Pointing at the halfling.
but I was actually going to let Miles roll a persuasion check with the argument you presented. So go ahead and
You're
roll
cutting
that.
out what?
Oh, roll a persuasion check for me, Miles.
Okay.
From before. I wanted to respond to Perplex.
25.
Nice. Alright, yeah, like, so when you say this stuff about, so he would respond to 2 who speaks up as well, but then he turns back to you and thinks about what you had said about, like, defending your homeland, just like they would there, and sort of the stuff like that. And he's like,
Because our friends, their kin, their descendants, the centaurs, because they are at the shrine and are either inside it or outside of it, further ahead in the glade, I will allow you to move forward alone, unarmed, and perhaps they will allow your companions to join you.
I thank you.
and
I will draw my rapier and just like set it on the ground. I will summon Striker and just like set it on the ground. Can I even have Striker away from me? I can't remember.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you summon, hold on, give me a second. Give me a second.
That is a goblin slaying thing, and he's worried about goblins, so.
Give me a second here.
Yeah, but it's a human weapon.
It's a very old one, though.
No shit. Okay. He doesn't say anything about Striker. He just like nods as you're putting down your weapons.
Also, before Miles leaves,
Mhm.
Nox, yeah, I guess Nox just says, "Miles, wait,"
Yes.
and then yeah, Miles.
Miles.
I guess she. So she would, I guess, like, very suddenly pull him in for a hug, and it looks like a hug to outside, but she's palming a sending stone into his hand, and then she
Ooh.
says, "Good luck."
Okay. And I will reach into my bag and pull out a different sending stone and turn to the Treant. I don't know if your kind can use such a thing as this, but it will allow me, or the centaurs, probably them now that I think about it, to notify you when I've spoken to them.
I know what this object does. Yes, I will take it.
All right.
And it
The
like
I
tiniest
give
stone.
him my sending stone.
it reaches down like a little branch arm thing, and it daintily takes that out of your hand, gently, quite gently actually.
All right.
And it it'll let you pass further into the glade.
All right, I will go in there.
Okay, so yeah, the trees are still pretty thick in here, but you can kind of see the rock outcropping from where you're going, and it takes you a couple, like 2 or 3 more minutes, not too long, but a couple more minutes walking through. It's a very beautiful area. Like the trees are all these trees are huge. They're all very beautiful. There's moss all covering the ground and like flowers, and it's a very beautiful area. You might actually pass like a little tiny pool of water. It looks like there's a little creek bubbling through here, and then it abruptly turns into a clearing near the rock outcropping. The outcropping, it is a large like rock thing that just juts out of the ground here, a huge chunk of rock. And you actually see though that at the bottom of it there appears to be like a cave that leads into it. There's a couple 100 feet. You get some bagpipe practice in. The tree seems to not mind whatever you guys do, as long as you aren't like killing it or doing violent things in general, I guess. But it would actually request that you guys be careful not to like squish any plants that you can avoid squishing. This clearing has a couple 100 feet of empty space and just kind of like grass, very luscious, like full grass, growing on either side of this, on every side of this outcropping. And you actually see that there is, at the base of it, where like the entrance to whatever cave or tunnel is there, at the entrance of it are some centaurs. They are laying down, actually. One of them is standing up and like looking around, and unless you try to hide, he'll see you in a second or two.
I am going to very obviously like have my hands outstretched to show I'm not armed.
Okay.
And say in Sylvan, please, I mean you no harm.
I
mean just to talk.
Yeah, he's a couple 100 feet away, so you'll be like yelling. This
Please,
is like...
I mean you no harm. I mean just to speak with you.
and the other ones immediately get up, and this one that was like on watch, he sees you as soon as you start talking, maybe even like before you do, and points, and they all like gather close to it for a second, and so there are 7 of them. There is, give me a second here. You can see from this distance, not too far, it's a little ways off, but you can see that 6 of them are just not wearing anything besides like maybe some basic clothes, very basic clothes, but they're pretty much just as God intended them, to put it one way. They clearly have different like weapons on them though. However, one of them has actually has some chainmail on, like has armor on, and a shield hanging at his horse waist where his arms would be able to reach it, and weapons as well. And that one sort of like they actually all will start trotting towards you, and they'll surround you in like the middle of this clearing, because I'm assuming you're walking towards them still slowly.
Yeah.
They surround you in the middle of the clearing here, and like actually they a couple of them draw pikes, long 10-foot long pikes, a little longer than 10 feet, and they like point them at you, not threateningly, not too close to you, but just kind of like you should stop, that sort of thing.
All right, I'm going to stop. My hand's still outstretched.
And the one in armor, he speaks up, and he speaks in common, or well, Aldish, but it is not a very good Aldish. It's a broken Aldish, sort of. But he'll speak to you in Aldish and say, "What are you doing here, human?"
I simply wish to speak with you.
And I'm assuming, would you speak to them in Sylvan?
I spoke in Sylvan earlier, but he decided to speak in Common, so
Oh,
or
okay.
Aldish, so I will speak in Aldish.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
I simply wish to speak with you. My friends and I, we have a letter saying that a certain cult was looking to infiltrate this shrine. And we wished to make sure that didn't happen.
Hold on. How did you get here?
I went by the treant. I told him I would come here unarmed, and that my friends would stay behind.
If one of them saw you and let you through, then I suppose I can speak to you, but how have you found this place? This place has been hidden.
I will... if you would allow me to reach into my bag, I have a letter detailing how we found your place.
He nods, and he'll like trot up alongside you, next to you, to grab it from you.
Alright, I will take off my backpack, open it, reach in, and pull out the note. The letter from... I think it was the one from Zindarock? Yeah.
Yep.
Note from someone from Zindarock.
Yep. He reads it, and he's like... he like is like, the names on here... outside of Mirthfield and the reference to this shrine, these names mean nothing to me. I do not know of the Shield of Felling. I do not know of these skull fragments. I do not know Adam of Durndale or Zindarock.
Does the name Skleravrak mean anything to you?
It does not. No doubt some petty human squabbles, as there always are, causing war when there needs to be none.
Unfortunately, I don't believe that is the case. Skleravrak is a deity.
You have no place here, human.
Miles is obviously contemplating what he is going to say.
He's like, the center, he'll look at you for a second to say, we will allow you to leave, and you said you had companions?
Yes.
We will allow you to leave. The Treants seem to not mind your presence too much, but you should not come back here again. We have come to reclaim the secret that we keep here. You have no need to worry of it.
Make sure it does not fall into the wrong hands.
We do not need your help, humans. It is your kind that have caused us all of our problems.
I will speak nothing, and I will turn around and start heading off back to where I came from.
Okay. Sounds good. And after a couple of minutes, and after you walk away, they'll watch you. They'll sit there in the field, all like lined up, all with their pikes out, just watching you as you walk away. They watch you until you can no longer see them, and then
I can't see them for pretty much the entire time because I'm turned around.
I would say then as you leave the clearing, you'd hear them trotting back towards the outcropping. You feel their eyes boring into the back of your head. So you make it back to the group after a couple of minutes.
Unfortunately, they had no interest in speaking.
Well, if the Order of Skleravrak is truly interested, they're not going to be as patient as we are. We've already seen that they're capable of powerful magic.
The Treant will interject here because he's still here, and he's like, and to Miles, he's like, so they are friends. They told you to leave?
Yes.
Then I will make sure you leave, please.
throws us over the woods.
Please leave here. I do not wish to have to make you.
Just give us a moment while we discuss our plans, if you would.
Very well.
Nox,
Yes.
should I leave my sending stone with this treant so he can notify us if the Order of Sklavrak decides to tread into this part of the forest?
It's not the worst idea.
I was meaning to give that to my wife next I saw her, but I suppose this should take priority.
Sending stones are fairly common objects. You could find more later.
Your
Yes.
wife is a dragon, and you need a sending stone to speak with.
It's not like I can just send a letter up into the mountains.
Dragons can cast magical spells themselves, generally.
I wouldn't know if my wife knew the spell.
Apparently not. Maybe she just doesn't want to speak to you.
Perhaps. She
Did she
was
seem happy to
rather
see you?
angry.
Cheating on you with
She
your
was
dad.
rather angry.
Just kidding.
Why was she angry?
I left.
And then you did it again.
I left under different circumstances 2 years ago.
Are you divorced now?
No. Well, Trient, I will leave the stone I gave you with you. If you see people, or you hear word of those coming here who wish to disrupt the shrine and aim to use force to do so, I wish you to call me so that I may assist you in defending the shrine.
Little good it will do, though. Likely be possibly a week or so away.
Better late than never.
I doubt I will have need for such a thing, but I see no harm in keeping it. I will do as you say.
Let us hope you never have to use it.
And at that
Yes.
point,
Hopefully the blow that we dealt to the Order will keep them from being able to come here, but I wouldn't be so comfortable with that idea.
and,
Yes, keep in mind, Tree Men, they have wizards.
Yeah.
Tree Men. And, you are rather rooted to the ground, and I pull out my bagpipes, if I had put them away, cast fly myself and start flying away.
and the tree ant kind of at this point, he actually melds back into being like a natural looking tree.
Alright, well, I guess we leave.
Yeah.
Fly away!
Alright. Sounds good if you guys want to leave.
I imagine we'll have an easy time getting out of
I'm
here.
a little while away. I'm going to give Nox's sending stone back to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. And yeah, so what's the plan now? Go to Averton?
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright.
Yeah, find their horses and head on out.
Okay. So I
Just
think
follow in on that one.
so I think actually
Yeah, I imagine considering my horse can communicate with me and I'm flying right now, and we also have outlanders that have traveled these woods, it's probably going to be pretty easy.
yeah, it's no problem. I'm not gonna make you guys roll. But yeah, so you make it up to Mirthfield, and then I'm assuming you go like north back to the road because the main road's gonna be quicker to go than the other way, even if it looks more direct. Either way,
Whichever way would logically be faster that we know of.
Either way, it's going to be a couple days till you reach Averton, a few days. And from this point on, after you get past Trinby in that area, the roads get a little safer again. And especially once you get to Rymanshire, there's not nearly as many like wild creatures and bands of robbers that roam that area. So it gets a lot safer. So yeah, you know.
As we're traveling, I'd probably be asking for any updated news about the capital and the invaders up north.
Yeah, you would be told that.
Also, obviously, I would have picked up my stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Just leave leave the sword stuck in the ground next to
the-
Sorry, Greg. You didn't say what your character would very obviously
exactly.
do.
So
All
gone
right,
now.
so my rapier's still there.
No,
but also
it's
if I'm
fine.
away from my striker for more than a minute, it disappears.
No.
Well, it's a real weapon, so it doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
Are you
That's
sure?
So
It's still a packed weapon, though.
But it's a real weapon.
So Wenswell will you'll hear that Wenswell has raised their army but has not made their move to attack Thurbyshire, which is held by the Elbane force.
Elbane.
Yeah. And the and the rest of your travel passes without incident. So as you guys reach Averton, how do you sort of proceed into the city? Do you have do you try to make it look like you're a royal procession or anything, or what? Or do you
None of us are royal.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
working
probably
for an
as
nobleman.
close to royal as anyone in the group, and I very much so do not want to show any sign of nobility.
I guess my question is would Nox
We'd
be
progress
leading?
probably openly.
Yeah.
Like telling the guards why we're here, who we're here for.
Okay.
Asking
Also,
to
for the
have
record-
the Lord informed, so on and so forth.
Yeah, we should present ourselves.
Since I
to-
remembered, after we left the shrine,
Yeah.
actually, let's say after we went by Rimenshire, I would have made my fancy mind shielding ring invisible.
Okay. Yeah, fair. Sounds good. So, so you guys reach Averton, and Averton is a big city. Again, it's not a huge metropolis like the capital is, but it is a pretty big city. It's at least 3 times the size of Fellington, if not more. So it's a pretty darn big city. I mean, this whole valley, or not valley, but a basin here, with the rivers. The river that passes by Rymanshire and Averton, and then the ones over to the east more. This big basin here is super fertile and very populous. One of the and so Averton has a lot going on. It's a big center of trade. Tons of trade comes here from all over the continent and the kingdom. There is a lot of agricultural products here. A lot of there's a good bit of metalworking, plenty of tanneries and things, all sorts of things. Anything you could imagine really is going to be here. And so it's a big city. You guys, it'll take a few minutes walking through the streets, especially as you get more attention and people probably come out and see you guys. But come out to see the not royal, but noble or fancy looking
Nightly procession.
Yeah, exactly.
We got 2 that are literally nightly.
So there is the
and I'm wearing nice armor.
Yeah.
I probably would have switched back to my noble clothes at some point for this.
Yeah.
I'm still wearing my commoner's clothes with scale mail.
Yeah. So you're let in at the gate. The guards seem a little maybe confused, but they actually they'll stop you momentarily, and a knight will come up, an unlanded knight that serves the Duke will come up and basically be look at your paperwork, or the letter that the Duke has, the Duke of Fellington sent you guys with, and he'll be yeah, I mean, this looks legit. Go on through towards the royal castle, or not royal, but the palace castle or something. And you guys are sent into the city, and maybe even given a few guards to lead you there. So as you're passing through the city, you do get a bit of attention. It's not like the streets are crowded to see your arrival, but there are people walking past you will stop and look, and a couple of people will come out of their houses to stare and look at you guys.
What's the nightly group you made called again? Jack?
The Order of Dusk.
Order.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, whenever appropriate, Anna's going to do the crier thing and like
Oh no.
announce who Nox is as the knight leader of the Order of Dusk in the name of Lord Fellington.
It is almost certainly incredibly embarrassing.
Yep.
So
Anna's a noble.
I
She's
imagine-
seen this thing happen
Yeah,
where
yeah.
people are walking into town or into a lord's manor and hamming themselves up through an
I
announcer,
imagine
basically.
you would have used thaumaturgy to make your voice louder.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll intersperse saying things about Nox with being like, oh yeah, to visit the illustrious Lord Aver and
Yeah.
whatever I know that he has as far as accomplishments.
Yeah, his
rattle
name.
those
So his
off.
name is Jesper, by the way. Jesper of Aver.
Yep.
So the illustrious. Alright, so I'm imagining you're saying something like, I wrote down something like along the lines of, I present Lady Nox, Knight of Felling, and then like
Leader of the Order of Dusk.
Yeah, leader of the Order of Dusk.
Knightly Order.
Yeah, leader of the Knightly Order of Dusk, something like that. So like, I present Lady Nox, Knight of Felling, and leader of the Knightly Order of Dusk.
To reaffirm cooperation with the good people
Yeah.
of Aver. Something like that.
Yeah, like we are here on. We're here to visit the Lord Jesper Aver and to. I like what you said. To
ham up
reaffirm.
like these trying times, mention all of the unrest, like, yeah, we're totally here to buddy up to make sure that the people are safe.
Yeah, and so you're putting on a show so that the people know what's going on. Okay, sounds good. And yeah, people definitely are interested by this, and some people actually come out and maybe like, so a couple of people, like some kids and stuff, will come up and run alongside your horses, laughing and clapping and things.
Hell yeah.
You draw attention. And
When we get relatively close to the castle,
Mhm.
I'm going to start playing my viol
okay, yeah,
and just like, singing general happy things. Like if I know any songs of the deeds in Averton, maybe
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. I'm also going to casually cast Enhance Ability for Charisma on Nox.
yeah. There's probably a few songs and stuff set in Averton,
Yeah.
And yeah, that's no problem. So
Nox at some point would whisper to Anna or like mutter to her like, I'm not used to being subtle, but this is a bit over the top even for me.
It's all part of the job.
Yep. So the
Going in loud.
so the give me a second. So yeah, and you reach the castle here. So it's like it's more like there is Averton is big enough that it's actually there's a set of inner walls that surrounds like with a part where the richer people live, the upper class people. And then there's the keep itself, that the big castle in the middle that has its own walls too. Yeah, there's quite a few sets of walls you have to go through. And yeah, you're met once you reach that inner district and are closer to where the castle is. Then a couple more knights right up alongside you, Knights of Aver, with that same logo that you guys have seen before, with the wolf on like the red shield. They ride up along.
You see that? You see that one bitch who told us
No.
that we would regret our
No,
actions?
you did not see that one. No.
Okay.
But yeah, some
That
other.
would be awkward.
But yeah, some other knights, and even actually both of these knights look like they're accompanied by like a squire, so like a knightly fellow, but they aren't wearing the same regalia and stuff as their companions are. But they clearly all seem like very trained militarily.
This shit's gonna go Game of Thrones so quick.
And they don't really say anything to you guys. They actually just lead you alongside you, and you are met you're sort of brought into the courtyard here in front of the main hall of Averton, in front of the castle itself. And give me a second. Give me a second. There are two people here that are like standing at the bottom of the steps here when you are presumably going to dismount.
Yeah, I guess so.
Neither of these guys. Also, let me describe them to you. One of them is clearly like a priest type fellow. He is wearing like full robes, and on his robes is the symbol of a deity, Argolo. I don't actually know how I want it to be pronounced. Argolo. Argolo. This is very common knowledge. Argolo is one of like the main gods of the whole pantheon. He's the god of war, competition, and pride. And so this guy has his symbol. I actually don't know what the symbol would be. It'd probably just be like a simple like long sword or short sword, sort of set on some background. Maybe like a fist holding the short sword, and but it is actually it'd probably be a shield behind it. So, but there's a symbol of Argolo, and so clearly this guy's a priest of that deity. And other than that, he has like a hood over his face, slightly obscuring it, but he's looking at you guys. It just seems like an average looking dude, like brown hair and brown eyes. And he's maybe 50 or so. So he's older. And he's actually accompanied by two guards, basically, that are next to him, but also have that symbol. And next to him is a fully plated up knight, or some military figure who is, again, he's head to toe in plate armor. He's holding his helmet at his side, but other than that, he is dressed up, ready to go, basically. He's got gray hair. He's pretty old. He's got gray hair and blue eyes. And he's the one who actually, and he's accompanied by two other knights, knightly looking fellows. They might be squires, whatever. And he approaches you, and he kind of looks to who would be sort of leading the pack. Anna still?
I imagine Nox and Alejandro.
Well, I imagine Anna would probably be up front.
If Anna's been crying out and stuff, then Anna...
I've been crying the whole time.
He would. This guy would approach you, and this guy would approach you and give you... this armored dude would approach you and give you a little bit of a bow.
I give him like a real intense bow, since as far as he knows, I have no standing whatsoever.
When he bows, his like cloak falls away a little bit. I want you all to make me a perception check real quick.
Are we
17?
So when you ask for checks like this, do you want us to roll our secondary characters as well, or just our main characters?
It would depend. In
Just
this
by
situation,
default.
in this situation, don't. In default, I would say yes, but in this situation, don't bother. Just do you guys.
See, I'm bowing,
this
so I'm not
is-
paying much attention.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say that Alejandro and Darwin would not see this. It is a little bit of a harder check.
No one fucking
Dux is so
sees this
shook by this situation.
And
shit,
2.
right?
2.
Purple.
2! 3!
Oh, he said
Let's
be
hope we
right
don't
back
see 3
10 minutes
anytime
ago. Rip.
4!
Pretty sure he's back since then.
5!
Roll a perception check.
Perp.
6!
Well, I mean, I could just go on to Purplex sheet, but I don't want to do
He's
that.
not as his PC.
The what?
Out of this PC.
Okay.
10.
11.
Stop.
We'll wait a second. It's fine.
12.
Oh god. Hey, there we go.
Stop.
Okay. So Miles and 2. When he like kind of flourishes and does a bow, this knightly figure, you see that his cloak sort of just like falls to the side in a way where you can see what he has around his on his waist, like attached there. On one side, it was actually obvious before. You could see the hilt of a sword sticking out, like a long sword. However, on the other side, it is revealed when he sort of bends over a bit. You guys see what looks to be like the handle of a flail. However, what's notable about this flail is that it has encrusted in the handle at the bottom of it a ruby, a really bright, brilliant ruby.
Is it more brilliant than the other really fancy sword that I had seen?
I would
Which one?
bet you $1 million is exactly the same.
Which one? The one you sold, or
I have no idea.
Striker.
Miles?
No.
You recognize
No,
it's.
not Miles.
It looks Miles. It looks
The one that you gave to me.
yeah, the fancy one, Zindarok sword.
Oh, that one? Oh.
No, this
Probably
gem
not.
looks equal in brilliance and like shininess to this. I was gonna say sapphire. No, the ruby encrusted in the pommel of Striker. And Miles, since you have Striker, you put this
That's
together.
probably the Duke.
You put this together pretty instantly, Miles. But anyway, so but this
Alright,
man.
I'm back. So what did I see?
Oh,
Cut out.
No problem.
Oh my God.
So when this armored dude bows down, the cloak around him falls to the side a bit, and you see at his waist on one side, you and 2 both see that you see the handle of a flail, and at the base of that handle there is encrusted a brilliant ruby. And you quite clearly can tell this is a ruby that is pretty similar to the one at the base, the pommel of Striker.
Yeah.
Which
Do I recognize this person? Because they must be pretty high in terms of their standing here.
You would probably not recognize this person. I don't know. But they, I don't think you would, no. But they sort of bow and bow to everyone, all of you, sort of generally, and then they sort of like look to Anna, who is at front, because Anna's been crying out the arrival of the group, and he'll speak. He'll be like, "I do not believe I have met you, any of you
While
before."
he is speaking, I am going to ride up next to Nox and kind of lean
We're not
over.
riding anymore.
Yeah.
Are we not? I
Yeah,
figured we were.
The horses have been gone for a while now. I
They're
think.
just, yeah, I mean, they're actually, like,
Yeah, they have
stable hands are taking the horses to little pens, to stables now.
Alright, then I'm gonna walk up
Mhm.
to Nox.
with your hands in the reins position still. Monty Python style.
I'm like holding the front of my pants.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lean over and say in a hushed tone, "Do you see that man's hip?
When he stands up, then like his cloak covers it up again.
Did you
No.
see that man's hip?
I did not.
He had one of the blades of Alder."
Well, this is happening.
That must be the Duke then.
Anna will formally announce, "I present to you,
Yeah.
yada yada." you
Yeah,
know,
same
like,
thing as before.
her title, why we're here, basically.
And he's like,
ba-
yeah, I got you.
goodwill. I'll probably add on like, we are in the service of Lord Aver while we are here, stuff like that.
Well, you are welcome then. I will introduce myself. I am Maynard. I am the personal military advisor to Duke Jesper. And I am his personal knight and friend.
Is what I saw on your hip what I think it is?
He gives you a bit of an odd look, and he's like, are you speaking of my sword? And he pulls back the cloak from the other hip, and you see like the hilt of a sword on the other side.
Oh no, you know I'm not speaking of the sword. I'm speaking of the flail. One of the blades of Alder, if I can identify one.
And he just looks at you and he's like, yes, I carry the... oh god, I gotta find the name of it. Give me a sec, I gotta find the name of it.
That was the edgy sounding one, I think.
I think it was like Slayer or something edgy like that, yeah. Give me
Something
a sec.
like that.
Give me a sec. I
It's
have
either
it.
Sunderer
Oh,
or
there,
Vanquisher.
it's Vanquisher, yeah.
Yeah, the
he's like,
edgy one.
yep, he's like, yes, I hold the flail they call Vanquisher.
Anna will ham it up, as expected of an advisor of the Lord, and bow again.
And Nox will chime in, you fight with a flail. I used to carry one myself for quite some time.
And he looks at you and he's like, and you, my lady, are Nox? Because Anna had introduced you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
If you are sent by the Duke of Felling, you will receive hospitality while you are here. And the Duke will meet with you over dinner tonight.
That sounds wonderful.
He actually had planned on throwing a minor feast. It is his deceased father's birthday today.
Well, that timing.
That's an odd time to celebrate.
I see.
Do you say that? That's like an odd thing or odd
No.
time to say? Okay.
Oh god, now we fucked up, boys. Abort mission.
If you would, we have quarters.
In
I just
character,
realized.
Anna would probably just say something respectful. You know,
Yeah,
God rest his soul. so on and so
Galvale is
forth.
blue. I've never seen a blue town before.
there are lots of blue towns on here. No, well, not many, but they do exist.
There's Irwinsville.
There's two in this region.
Yeah, there's not many in the western part.
There's
Staverfeld and
Shoreditch.
Giverton are, but anyways.
Erikston,
Yeah.
up north.
Yep. Ericson.
Dorchester.
Yeah.
Staverfeld.
Those are
Anyway.
like one gradation above the greens, but anyways, though, so that's
Yeah, it goes
side thing.
white, green, blue, yellow, red, bigger red, bigger red.
Star red. Yeah.
Mega red.
Anyways, so the
Giga red.
so he'll say, we have
Spectacular.
we have quarters prepared that you may stay in, and the feast will be in a few hours because it's like afternoon by the time you get here. There are quarters prepared, and the business that you speak of, the Duke will meet you over.
Very well.
If you, the Duke was informed of your arrival in the city. He does insist that you each take with you a personal guard for safety reasons.
Anna will thank him, not acknowledging that they're basically spying on us, keeping tabs on us. Just, oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. That would be much appreciated.
Half playing naive and half serious, Nox asks what there is that we need safe from.
And he's like, he like sort of like thinks about it, how to respond for a second. He's like, Averton is a place I do not know if you have been here before, my lady.
It's been several years.
Averton is a city that is known for having crime within its walls. We strive to keep things safe, especially in the castle.
Goldsboro is also good.
We strive to keep things safe here, but there have been infiltrations in the past into our castle by particularly ambitious thieves guilds.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure I can handle myself.
I'm
but
gonna ask
I,
if they know what the Thieves Guild is.
I suppose an extra hand would always be hope. I say, giving this man a warm smile.
Sorry,
Which I do not truly believe.
Sorry, what did you say? Sorry, my sister said something.
Which one of us?
Both of
Last
you,
couple
probably.
things.
All right.
The one who has been talking.
All right. I say to the Nightman,
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare.
I'm sure I could handle myself as well as most of us here, but I suppose an extra hand is always helpful. And I give him a warm smile that I do not believe in.
Yeah. And yeah, he nods, and then he'll say, he'll actually motion, one of the other knights will leave and bring back your personal guards that'll accompany you around.
Awesome.
And one for each of you, one even for Derwin and Alejandro. And yeah, and so you guys. So at this point, before you guys leave though and go
I'm
to
gonna
your
speak
quarters,
Sylvan to my bodyguard.
as the bodyguards are coming up, and they sort of introduce themselves in case you need to call them by name.
What's my bodyguard's name?
I don't have names for each. His name is John.
All right, John.
John Jacob.
And they're all named John.
Oh shit.
No, don't.
Hey,
no.
John.
That's not true. But no, the one,
Johns.
20 people, yes?
the one that you.
I like to think that they went into a room filled with bodyguards. Hey John, you're up.
So the one
I
that's
am?
assigned to you.
Just like 50 times.
The ones that's assigned to you too is will be very confused if you speak Sylvan.
I'm going to speak probably the most I've ever spoken, and just continuously talk to him.
And he's like, my dear lady, I apologize, but I know not what language you speak in.
Anna will just
I'm
be like,
going
don't
to
mind her.
reply
She
to him in Sylvan.
And he
Anna
looks
will be
very
like,
confused.
Don't mind her. She is a dignitary from the northwest.
And if
he's like,
Miles
okay.
cares at all, it is just
I-
actual gibberish.
Please allow me to be her translator.
So as you step into that, then you are interrupted by
Oh, that's good.
what's his face? Give me a sec. You're interrupted by the religious priest dude, and he's like, forgive me, I would like to introduce myself before I allow you to take your leave. My name is Fyodor, and I am not Theodore, Fyodor. I didn't pronounce that very well.
Fyodor.
Or Fedor, I don't actually care. He's like, Fyodor.
As long as it's not Fodor.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, my name is Fyodor, and I am a priest of Argolo, of the temple here in the city.
Question. Are clerics called father?
No,
in this setting?
probably not. No. I used to be called
Just like sir.
yeah, sir, or
It's too real,
priest, or
man.
my priest, or anything. And so he's like, I'm a priest of Argolo, in the city here, and I would like to welcome you as well. These, all of the guards here have been, your bodyguards have been approved by our order, or our priestly order as well.
What do I know about the church? Not necessarily the god, but the church of this god?
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, sounds good. You guys can roll me religion checks real quick.
I'm real good at that. See?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Alright, so, you wouldn't know much, Miles, about this one.
The best.
What?
Anna, you would know that similar to how in Felling they have the Temple of Isidore, it's kind of a similar situation here. This is the one that works pretty closely with the Duke here for all things religious in the city. There are plenty of other temples in the city, as there are in Fellington. But this is the main, the big popular one, and almost like the patron saint of the city, kind of, you could say.
The chosen religion of the region.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. There are plenty of other temples to the other gods as well, but this is the biggest one, the biggest organization. But let me see. Give me a second here. I think. Hold on. Yeah, just give me 2 seconds. There's an important thing that might be relevant that I should open up. See if I am mistaken. No. Where did I put this? I could have sworn I put something in here about this. No, because that's actually, so one thing is that one thing that it would be common knowledge actually is that there's no like main temple or church organization that exists throughout the whole kingdom. There's not really any kingdom-wide temple organizations that are super relevant. There might be some that I just haven't fleshed out, but basically most of the temples basically exist independent of one another, even if they're of the same deity. They might interact with each other and like send stuff back and forth or transfer people, but they're sort of loosely organized. There's not any like church organization really within the kingdom that's major.
So presumably, like since
The-
Averton took this religion, there'd be some coordination in this region, but it would start
Yeah.
getting looser and looser as far as relations go from here.
And so there would definitely, and so like similarly, there would definitely be a temple to Argolo and Isidore in the capital. There'd definitely be temples to them, but they would only be loosely associated with the one here. They would not have any official things. In fact, actually, but I would actually say this is common knowledge to all you guys. I just forgot to mention up until this point. The Isidore, the god of strength, power, and resolve, they are actually really popular within the whole kingdom. And the temples, if anything, the temples of Isidore are probably the most interconnected. So the one in Fellington definitely actually has probably stronger ties to the one in this city and the one in Alder's Landing than some of the other deities' temples would. They're a bit more like of a kingdom-wide organization, but still pretty loosely connected. Anyways. But this guy, he introduces himself as Fyodor, and he's like, I am the the advisor to the Duke in all matters that pertain to religion and such things. And I would also like to welcome you to our city.
Thank you.
And he gives you a big smile. And at this point, Maynard, the knight, the military advisor to the Duke, will tell you guys that you may go to your quarters, or they can have food brought to you, or anything to tide you over. It's up to you all.
I'm going to try to get on my bodyguard's back for a piggyback ride.
Oh my god.
You're gonna have to roll me a persuasion check to see if he's gonna allow you to do that.
I'm just gonna like.
I didn't get
try
the
to do
impression
it.
that he was.
Like, I'm
So
gonna.
would that basically be like a modified grapple?
If you want to roll a athletics or acrobatics check contested by his, sure.
Well, for grapples, it's just acrobatic.
Oh, yeah, and the
contested
contest-
by their
Or
acrobatics.
it's
round.
just
Or-
athletics?
Yeah,
Yeah, just
other way around.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if he can. I'll roll
That's
for him.
acrobatics.
Yeah, you can keep your 2 roll.
Give me a sec.
But
Okay.
it'd be a little bit less than that.
The roll is appropriate.
Yeah.
Crap. He rolled a 7, so.
Well, you'd probably still get out of it, because that's an acrobatics, not an athletics.
Oh yeah. Roll me roll me an athletics. I'll let you re-roll.
Like the stupidest part is
We mentioned
It's-
that 3 times.
Yeah.
it's just as likely for me to roll the same thing with my athletics.
roll me
Correct.
roll me that real quick.
Actually, it's less likely, but still.
No, it's
Okay, it didn't matter apparently.
How do you roll
So-
so bad?
So he does actually manage to he manages to kind of get out of the way and is like,
Alright, translator, you gonna explain that one?
Maynard is still here. He hasn't left just yet, and he's like, he's like, may I have your name, my elven friend?
I say some gibberish in Sylvan.
I know you can
I
understand.
speak up and say, she says her name is 2.
Thank you. Please let her know that while our guards have a great tolerance for what their entrusted persons may do with them, we prefer if we prefer if they are at least allowed to have some personal space. They're just
I will say this in Sylvan.
John here is just
I'm
a normal
going-
guard. He does not.
I'm going
wish-
to ask John if he'll give me a piggyback ride.
in common, or Aldish
In Sylvan.
in
And
Sylvan.
I will translate this.
And he's like, I'd rather not.
And I translate that back.
You don't really need to translate it back.
I know, but I want him to think that I do.
The
Yeah, fair,
illusion
fair.
is that she can't understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, that could come in useful. Yeah.
I'm going to give him the puppy dog eyes.
He's like, I'd really rather not. I'm sorry, I don't know you that
Wow,
well.
you can't even be
I
persuaded.
can't even persuade him with the puppy dogs.
Yeah, okay.
And I
If
will
you really want, you can roll
translate this.
persuasion. Yeah, I'll let
She
you.
grows 4 more eyes.
I'll let you roll persuasion.
Holy.
I'll tell you the DC.
Your
The,
willpower.
you can roll. The DC is gonna be 20. You're gonna have to hit a 20 for this, because this is
Ooh.
very, very embarrassing to him. He does not want to do this. You need to use your inspiration.
Hold on,
I'm just
hold on. Can I bardic inspiration this? I can't remember if I can do skill rolls. Can I?
Can't
I
you?
believe so.
I don't
Pretty
remember.
I
sure it's for
believe.
anything.
I can't remember what bardic inspiration all
Pretty
does.
sure it's for literally anything.
To do bonus action on your turn, choose one creature with bardic inspiration, attack roll, saving throw,
Ability check. Yep, you can do that.
What is my what are my dice right now? Please,
D8,
they're
I think.
D8s.
D8.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Well, you get an extra D8,
yeah,
son.
roll your.
I'm gonna slap you on the
persuasion.
back and be like,
I'm.
I'm sure you can convince him.
Oh no, the pressure's on. Do I use my inspiration for this?
No, use for bardic.
You only have it for 10 minutes anyway, so.
He's
No, I
talking
think
about his actual.
his actual-
inspiration.
My actual inspiration.
Oh,
It's up to you.
dude,
No,
I'm gonna-
I kind of threw mine away too, so why not?
I'm using it.
Okay, go ahead, roll it out with advantage.
Advantage and a D8 on top. You know what? It's probably not gonna come up, so you might as well.
Oh my
god!
The
Who's
most
the most persuasive
persuasive
person?
thing that has
I think he's
ever
actually in love with you now.
He looks at you. He's like, looks to
Holy
Maynard,
shit.
and Maynard kind of just doesn't do anything. And the dude is like, you know what? I'll allow it. Just don't tell my wife.
Oh.
Nice.
And he'll like let you.
I say
piggyback
in
ride.
common, I don't think she even could.
And and so Maynard will kind of just shake his head and he'll look to the rest of you and say, very well, I will leave you to your own devices.
You hang out with some whores for like 5 minutes, and suddenly you're just sweeping men off their feet.
Okay.
I turn to John and say, do you know if there's a magic shop in town?
There's a couple. Actually, two's on his back. So, there's a couple.
John was mine.
Oh yeah, you're
No,
John.
they're
okay.
all John.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're.
I turn to my John.
Yeah, you're John and says
You gotta stop calling them Johns, man.
yeah, this
Yeah,
was
'cause that means toilet.
Oh my.
they're not supposed
Well-
to have names. That's not relevant. This one's Jim, we'll say.
Just don't call them
Hey,
Johns.
nothing is relevant until we decide to precisely
Your-
focus on it.
Your guard he's like yeah, there's a couple places in town you could actually find magic stuff.
If it wouldn't be too much trouble, could you show me to one?
And he'll take you to one, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to tell Miles to have John follow you.
Okay.
I assume in Sylvan?
Yes.
I don't know how long you're gonna
say
piggyback.
in Aldish, 2 wants you to follow me.
We're going and he'll follow along. And you guys go to a magic shop together, I suppose.
Alright, do they have any sending stones?
Yeah, they would have sending stones.
Yo, the
How
other
much
guards are
are
gonna be
they?
getting this guy a
150
drink
gold,
later.
same thing as before.
150 gold?
Yeah, for both.
Man.
I can't wait to hear
Alright,
that
done.
what the stories these guards are gonna tell tonight.
Yeah. So the rest of you just like go to the rooms prepared for you to hang out.
I mean, I guess might as well check them out.
Yeah, or you can go around the city. It's up to you.
Good question. What do I want?
In any case, you'll be like notified when people will find you and tell you when the feast is about to begin.
Okay.
So,
I guess I'd probably stick with Anna.
Okay.
I guess Anna would ask her-
Ascending stones. I would just like try to find Nox and Anna.
Yeah, I guess Anna would ask the guard if there's any sights in town. Something.
They would tell you that the Temple of Argolo is a cool enough place if you're the religious type. They're down by like the docks and the harbor. There's always interesting things going on. There's like market squares where lots of times there will be street performers and things like that. And let me think.
Dude,
actually, hold on.
do I go to the market with us all and get lost?
I mean, we could try.
That'd be too easy.
I'm
Oh no, I'm invisible. What happened?
Especially when
Help! I'm getting kidnapped. Arr!
and also like at least 2 of us can just teleport 500 feet away.
Yeah,
I can't teleport, but I can become a flying ball of darkness,
that's true.
which is probably really noticeable in
I
broad
can't
daylight.
fly, but I can become darkness.
So so I don't know. Like, would you guys do anything in particular? You have a couple
Check
hours.
out the markets and see if there's anything interesting Anna would suggest.
Yeah, I guess.
And well, so like Anna could ask around about the Berdamon dude.
Nah, not while we have
Okay.
friends.
All right, sounds good. Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't necessarily want to be saying names to questionable people.
Yeah, no, I got you. No worries. So, give me a second here.
So I guess we all just follow Mars and 2, because they're going to the markets.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna see how long you can ride your guard.
Yeah. Yep. That's that was my intent for tonight.
This is really...
So,
Man. Yeah.
Good use of inspiration and bardic inspiration,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
You got the maximum effectiveness out of both.
So at this point,
It's so great.
If your bardic inspiration lasts
you
more than 10
definitely-
minutes, consult a doctor.
while you guys are going around, you are approached by a lot of like street vendors who can tell that you guys probably have some money, and are like, and plus
Actually,
you're
my coin is pretty light. I have, let's see.
well, not you. I mean the
8,
others who went to the
9.
market square, because they're all 4
I have
going.
19 coins in my pocket.
So no,
We're
they
being approached by what?
by like street vendors,
Flowers.
hawking their wares.
Do any of
Are
them
any
have,
of them
like-
are any of them like selling food?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
like,
one of them-
specifically like sweets, like baked goods. I want cookies.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah,
sweets.
you guys can find
A
some
baker.
sweets and stuff from a baker. Yeah, no problem.
Well,
Okay,
I don't
I'm
want to
going-
find them. I want them to find me.
You guys are not being approached nearly as much because you went a different route to the magic shop. The other ones went to like the main market square where all the common folk sort of go, and so the other 4 of you with the 2 NPCs, and then your guards, you guys are approached
Oh
at
yeah,
one
there's
point.
4 of them with them.
You're approached at one point in time by a grizzled old little lady, like who looks like she's in her 60s or 70s or so, and she's like, oh, you there? You look like you be the type that are into cooking. Are you into cooking? Or even do you ever feel the need to like spice up your food?
No.
I usually have him do it for me, pointing at Alejandro.
Oh, here, take a look at this here. Take a look at this here, and she pulls out of like from her pocket, looks to be like a little pouch, sort of the size of maybe like a coin purse, a smaller coin purse, and she like she hands it towards Nox, really. She's like, here, my lady, try this out.
What is it?
Yeah,
I'm not taking it. I'm looking at it.
Speak the name of any herb of your choice while you're holding at it. Say, salt or mint or
Salt
anything.
is not an herb.
Seasoning or herb. Sorry. She might actually say that. She's like, oh yeah, of course not. No. But an herb or a seasoning or any type of thing like that, and say the name of it while you're holding it, and you can pull out a bunch of that stuff. It's magic.
Grown fresh salt.
And she's like, it's magic.
It's magic.
Doesn't even contain anything other than whatever you need it to.
I guess I would hold it and then say, I guess, sure, mint. Mint's pretty.
Okay. And so then she's like, okay, reach on into it.
Okay.
And it bites your arm off. No. You reach into it and you pull out like a big handful.
Reach in with my other arm.
you
Arm gets bitten off. Reaches again.
You pull out a big clump of mint, more than you would need for any one meal.
Okay.
And you can like try it. It tastes like.
I wish we had
mint.
somebody that would have pulled salt out and just thrown it in their eyes.
I'll just start naming seasonings.
Yep. And you can do this. How many times do you do that?
Until it stops working?
Yeah, so 10 times you're able to pull seasonings or herbs out of this.
I would like to know what herbs you pulled out.
Yeah, list all 10 of them.
No, let's not.
Or seasonings.
Give me a second.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like just write a list. You don't have to say it out loud.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
mint
so after
is
you're
one of
done,
them.
after she's done, she's like, oh, it only works 10 times in a day. But I'll tell you what, seems like you like it. I'll give it to you for 100 gold. And she gives you a big smile with like some of her teeth missing.
As opposed to the smile she gives her less than favorable customers, where all of her teeth are in her mouth.
But she's like, 100 gold and it's yours.
I guess I would just nod at Alejandro and he would give her 100 gold.
Okay. And she looks very,
No, he would give her 1,000 silver.
oh, okay. And she,
A fucking sack is produced.
a big sack, and she like starts looking through it. She's like, I don't got time to count all this, but thank you, take it, yeah.
Fuck, I should have given her 500.
And she's like very happy, and she runs off into like an alleyway and just runs away.
Sure. What's this thing called again? I forgot.
It's a Heward's handy spice.
So
pouch.
she runs down an alleyway. I kind of lean over, looking down the alleyway. She runs down, look at my guard. What was his name? God, fucking military advisor.
Oh,
Alright,
Maynard.
so I probably hear all this commotion.
Sir
right?
Maynard said that this city isn't very safe. You think she'll be okay running down an alleyway with a humongous bag of coin like that?
The guard shrugs. He's like,
I probably hear all this commotion, right? Considering I'm kind of in the same area.
No, you guys are in a different part of the city. Like the magic shop you guys went to is closer than the market district is. The dude who was leading you, he took you to the nearest magic shop because you could definitely tell he felt sorry for his friend carrying two. He didn't want to put.
Yeah, but were there any?
He's
bake
walking
shops
for two
on
right
the
now.
way?
Are there any what?
Bake shops.
Yeah, there's
on
a
the way.
bakery.
Okay, so non-magical food seasoning. Define seasoning.
It has as an example
use
salt, pepper, or
food.
saffron, but I was just thinking like any.
I'll tell you
Any
right
herb,
now.
spice,
But
or
it
tell you
also
right now,
includes cilantro, which is not seasoning.
Yeah, I know. I think it means like.
Is onion a seasoning?
I think it means like seasoning and
Is
spices.
lemon
So-
zest a seasoning?
No, I guess lemon zest maybe, but like I don't think onions. No, onions are more like a
Not.
topping. Seasoning and spices and stuff like that. And
Herbs
herbs,
and spices.
herbs, spices. Yeah,
What its seasoning
Mhm.
is.
the general
yeah.
suggestion is if we ever do campfire cooking, it's going to taste better.
Exactly.
All
That's
right,
basically
but I have
the point.
prestidigitation.
Yeah, so does. Not only do you have prestidigitation,
You
Alejandro is like a professional chef,
just
Is
yeah.
and he has prestidigitation.
Just leave this at the
at the monastery with the people
Fuck
there.
no, I'm gonna keep it.
Okay.
I mean,
Is
if I ever
Alderland
go back
going to
there,
make us like
yeah,
really good
Yeah.
food on the road?
So
Yeah, he's got the gourmand trait.
yeah. So
Well, he'll be
anyways,
able to prepare larger amounts of food. this way.
so
You should just
The,
continuously pull MSG out of that thing.
nice. So so you guys find a bakery shop. You can buy any type of thing that you'd want in there. Not anything, anything reasonable that you
So
find in a bakery shop.
on their shelves of pastries,
Mhm.
what is the largest pastry that they have?
They have like these I don't know what these are, if there's a specific name for these, but I saw them in Spain occasionally. There's like giant loaves of bread though. Just imagine that.
Like, how big is giant?
Like a
Yeah, but like
a
is it
foot and a
sweet?
half in diameter and like and like 4 feet long.
Is it sweet?
It's not, they'll tell you it's not sweet. It's just like normal bread, but it's giant. It's
I'm
like a
I'm
big-
looking for pastries, not.
They'll tell you
not
they have
bread.
like a slightly smaller one that's sweet.
Okay, I will buy that one.
Do they have any cinnamon rolls?
They do. Yeah. It's
How
expensive.
much
though.
are they per cinnamon roll?
They would be like, I don't know, maybe like a silver per cinnamon roll. And not very
That's
big.
so expensive.
And they're not very big even. They, if you tell them that they're expensive, they'll be like, you
That's
know,
the
cinnamon
pastry
isn't
I think.
native to the island here. They grow it, but it's not like super common here.
They grow the cinnamon rolls.
No, they grow cinnamon here, but. But yeah, so
Okay.
they have sweet pastries, yeah, sweet bread.
Atop my bodyguard, I'm going to point at the sweet pastry bread that you told me
Okay.
about.
Yeah.
How much do they expect from
Oh, for that, for a
me?
whole loaf,
Jesus Christ.
for a whole loaf, it'll be 4 silver.
Okay.
Can I request that we roll a D100 to see if this guard's wife is getting baked goods or something?
Oh my god, hold on.
Maybe his wife works in the bakery.
What the fuck? Hold on. Hold on.
What?
Oh my
Are you
god.
okay?
I found a picture. It's so good. Oh my god. I'm putting it in the Discord. What the...
Oh my
I love
god.
the guy's face on the
Don't-
right.
Don't
Why
do
is that
this.
man proportional to his bread?
Why are they wearing capes?
That dude is Dracula on the
Why
right.
are they wearing
Why are
capes?
they wearing capes?
Dude is actually
This is a
Dracula.
real question.
Are these
Why
the
they
bread
wearing
barons or
capes?
something?
These are the bread barons, yes.
That dude is actually Dracula on the right. Oh, holy shit. Oh, I gotta put this on the stream. Hold on.
And the guy on the left is like, yeah, you know where I'm sticking this
This is
bread,
amazing.
bro."
This picture is so
The guy on the left is high as fuck.
I'm sorry to
I
interrupt.
put
This is
shit
just
on
so
my
good.
I know I got the best. Look at this
Yeah,
shine.
the guy in the middle like actually bakes bread for a living, and then the other two are just there like, yeah, I'm holding this bread.
Are there any pretzels?
That they would actually say, you've heard of pretzels? Those are a new thing that just arrived here from Gothia, a couple years back. It's just now getting popular here. It's basically the hipster food.
What?
It's like a cronut.
They're like
Hey, don't be talking down to my heritage.
yeah, no,
My family's
they're-
Gothian.
Yeah, but no.
That's
So
what
they're
they're
like, oh yeah, it's a new thing, new type of
God.
food from Gothia, but we know how to make those here. Yeah, we can make pretzels for you.
And how much will they be?
The technique is somewhat new to us, so it'll be 1 silver each for big pretzels, like giant ones or whatever.
I assume they're like
Like
big pretzels.
yeah, like big bready pretzels, you know.
Yeah.
I just assumed that
It's
he was
weird.
already
We take
gonna
our
be making a
normal
pretzel.
loaves and twist them.
Yeah. But no, so you'll get those.
I would take one of those and one of your cinnamon rolls. I place 2 silver
Okay.
on the counter.
Sounds good. All right, so
I'm going to just like hold this big loaf of sweet bread in front of my bodyguard's mouth
Wow.
He's not gonna eat it. Unless you beg him to.
I mean, I'm going to take a few bites of it as well, but like, I'm offering some to him.
Are you gonna be like, please Johnny Poo or something? Call him.
No, I have never spoke to him in a language he can
Alright,
understand.
well then he's not gonna take any.
Okay. And then I'm just going to sit atop him with a big loaf of bread then.
You get a lot of weird looks out on the street, by the way. A lot of people.
I seriously want this dude's wife to show up.
Hold on. Hey, real quick, Purplex, roll me a d4.
Roll you a D4. D4.
Okay.
1.
Roll me a D1 million.
As you guys are walking around, then sort of like as you guys are walking coming out from an alleyway right near you guys are a bunch of people that are in like some rougher looking clothing, and they sort of like get in front of you guys and stop you and Miles.
I'm going
And
to
you're gonna
shoot one of them in the head.
You're gonna shoot one of them in the head? They
I'm
haven't.
gonna shoot one of them
They
in
don't
the
have
head.
weapons out or anything. Do
Shut
you?
the fuck up.
So are you really
Sweet
gonna
roll.
are you really gonna shoot one of them in the head? Or, you can. I'm not stopping you.
Actually, I don't think, without dropping his big loaf of sweet bread, I don't think he can.
She?
No, Purplex.
So,
Purplex.
can you re-describe the scene?
Yeah. There's like actually there's like 8 of these guys that kind of surround you quickly out in the middle of the street.
Who all is there?
It's Miles and Purplex and their guards.
I'm
Purplex.
assuming the guards would be taking up an appropriate posture right now,
And who is surrounding
considering
them?
they would know if this is a bad
the
situation.
guard
At
next
least one of them.
it looks like a bunch of ruffians. And they don't pull any weapons or anything. They're just like surrounding you guys to like they look like they want to talk. And your guards
I am going to shoot one of them in the head.
like before they even say anything.
As soon as they start to surround us, I'm going to shoot one of them in the head.
Well,
okay.
boys, let's just go on back to the keep.
But
Okay.
Why?
I'm just. Hey, we're not there.
All right, go ahead
Ain't
and go ahead and roll it.
I don't know them.
Okay.
God, if these are commoners, they're just fucking dead.
All right, roll a roll a. Hold on. Gotta check the health of this guy. Oh yeah, he's dead. You hit him in the head, this one in the head, and now they all draw their blades, but they kind of and they look nervous now. But one of the other ones, that guy was about to speak
I'm
up, and
going
you
to
shot him in the head.
turn to 2, and in Sylvan, since I gotta keep up the act, I'm going to say, what the hell was that about?
And so meanwhile, all the people in the street around here that just saw us start screaming, like moving back. And these people there's 7 of them now. They all drawn their blades and they look at you, but they don't look like they're gonna fight you just yet.
Can I
They're-
take my second attack that would be on that turn, or was this the one surprise attack?
Can you normally take if it's a with the normal?
Yeah, I have.
I mean, normally
Prepared
the way-
attacks are one single attack generally.
Yeah,
That wasn't a prepared attack.
this is
Yeah,
like
that was just like, hey, I'm gonna start attacking.
I would say
Roll
you can
initiative,
do another one.
motherfuckers.
I would say you can do
Well,
another
'cause-
one.
So the way that surprise works is like
It's a
roll
round, right?
initiative.
Yeah,
It's an actual round.
it's a surprise round. So I would say
Just the
yes, yeah,
people
do
who
another
are
attack.
surprised can't
They
act.
aren't actually still gonna attack you. Well, after a second one they might. Yeah, go ahead and
Theoretically, these would be like rapid
If you
fire,
hit-
like within a second of each
if
other.
you hit another one,
Yeah.
this is gonna cause a combat. Otherwise, yeah, roll another one.
I just
Killing
flat out
one doesn't.
killed
I mean,
the fuck out of
whatever.
one
Well,
of them.
they're gonna try to talk to you guys if they get a chance, but
Anyway,
roll
Might as
your
well
other
aim
one.
for whichever one looks like a leader now.
That hits. That kills that one. So another one goes down, and he's and the other ones are like what the hell was that for? We just want to talk to you.
I speak to them in
I will
Sylvan.
translate.
Plus 5,
in
plus 2, plus
Sylvan.
1. Jesus Christ.
They aren't gonna attack you just yet, but they all have their weapons drawn. The guards that are with you, well, the one under SirPurplex can't really do anything. It's like please let me off you. The other one, the Miles, your guard, he like has his sword drawn and is like we're kind of just standing next to you.
They switch positions.
Get off of me. So.
We switched positions.
And he's like, but one of these
I like
ruffians.
the image of him.
One of these ruffians. He's like one of the ruffians.
You got tired.
I
So
like the
carried
image
him.
of him being on your back, feeding you the bread, so you can.
One
take
of the ruffians is like, we just want to talk to you and figure out why the fuck you, a stranger here, are on top of one of our guards. We got some civic pride, you know. You're making a mockery of our guards. In our city.
Mockery of their lives too.
And now you shot 2 of our friends. What the hell are you doing here? And the
I will
guard.
translate this all into Sylvan.
So I'm assuming at this point the rest of us probably notice a fucking commotion on the other side of the market.
This is
people running away from it.
This is a ways away, but you hear like people screaming off in the distance. It's going to be a couple minutes to get over where this is going on, though.
I'm assuming we
You said there
will
was
actively
7
be
of them
doing
to
so,
start?
though.
There's
But,
6
like,
now.
Why would we be?
Would we run towards screaming in this town, or would we be like, oh, that's unfortunate?
It's up to you guys. But no, you are a couple minutes away
What was
walking.
that noise?
So,
You said there was 7 of them though.
there were 8 originally. Now you killed 2.
Okay.
Actually,
so
I
there's
can
6
see
of them.
Nox hearing screaming and being like, "Oh, that sounds interesting."
Yeah. All right. So I'll assume it
Because
takes.
that's exactly how we started the whole adventure, with her being like,
And
"Adventure?
the guard-
That sounds interesting."
the
So
guard-
you're gonna lead us towards that?
yeah.
So Miles'
All right.
guard, meanwhile, is going to be like, he's going to be trying to like talk down these guys down. He's like, these are guests of the Duke. Please do not. I know you just you have pride in our city, but please. And so what is 2 preparing to do here? Because if the guard sees that you have your bow out for like more shots, then the guard, that Miles' guard, is going to try to like talk you down.
I mean, I would have killed 2
Alright.
people, and then instinctively drawn another arrow.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Alright,
so
question.
he would tell Miles, the guard next to Miles, he'd be like, please tell her to put her bow away.
I will say in Sylvan, 2, put your bow away. You're causing trouble.
I'll say back to Miles. It seemed like they were causing trouble to me.
They didn't even have their weapons drawn.
They
And you
surrounded
and I
me.
both know if they had drawn their weapons, we could handle them swiftly and efficiently.
I'm not one for ifs.
And so one of the other guys, he's
I
like,
love it.
one of the other ruffians here is like, he's like, you guys need to answer up. These guards, it looks like you guys are just hauling them around and torturing them. And the guard under 2 is like, no, I'm fine.
It's a little too good.
But so they like look to Miles or 2 for a response. They're kind of ignoring the other guard, even though the guard is like telling them like why don't you guys
How far
leave?
away from us are they?
Like I don't know, like 10 feet, and they're sort of surrounded around you guys, but there's 10 feet
Like-
from each of them.
Alright. I am going to cast darkness on my shield.
Okay.
Would you all please just calm down?
And they're like, what the?
That's not going to calm anything down.
They're like, what the fuck is going on here? And they're all yelling at each other.
Not to mention
and yelling
your
at you.
guards don't know what the fuck's going on either.
And
Everyone, drop your weapons, and I will rescind the darkness.
and you know, they're all like yell for a couple more seconds, and then you hear clattering of weapons to the ground.
Do I hear the distinct sound of a bow falling to the ground?
Yes, you do.
Okay,
You're not seeing your own darkness.
I can. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you'd see.
I was gonna
You would see
say,
them
like, I
all-
thought that's
they
why
all-
you cast this.
Alright, I looked to 2. Let me guess. You dropped the bow I gave you.
What? No.
Who would do that?
In Sylvan, I will say, 2, please drop your weapon.
I'm gonna just aim my bow the direction of speaking.
I will
can't
move
see
out
shit.
of the way. 2, drop your weapon before I make you drop it. I say,
And
as intimidatingly as possible.
You can see that all the ruffians are just kind of like looking around, like scared for their lives now. They've all dropped their
Are we
weapons.
getting close to this fucking
Yeah, another minute and you'll be
travesty?
there. Another minute and you'll be there. Yeah.
How long does darkness last? 10?
10 minutes.
So yeah, it'll
So
be
this could go on for a while.
okay.
So I say in Sylvan, as intimidating as possible, to drop your weapon before I make you drop it.
I'm gonna put the arrow away.
I am
That's it.
going to do my very best at sneaking to stealth over there.
And
Actually, before I start moving, I'm going to take off my shield and set it on the ground. And then I'm going to sneak over there. And I'm going to try to take all of her arrows out of her quiver.
oh my god. Well, I
I'm
mean,
not sure if you can with my quiver.
oh yeah. Two. I don't think you can actually.
I'm still going to try.
Two.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so
just wondering if you like actually can do it.
Well, what kind of quiver
it's an
is it?
efficient quiver.
It's the
Yeah, you might
magical
actually like
one.
reach in and just like not find anything. I'm not sure if it's like
I don't. No, I think you
that
just.
kind of situation.
It's just that two would definitely feel like the compartment like being messed with. I don't know.
You might be able to just like yank the whole quiver off. I don't know how they.
I mean,
assume it's like
definitely,
fucking
it
off.
works similar to a
definitely
bag of
secured
holding
to
where I
me.
can reach inside of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So but you're gonna have to roll a stealth check as you walk over there to
All
make
right.
silent footsteps.
I have not disadvantage.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, hold on. You have silent footsteps, right?
No.
No, that's
Two
me.
does
Oh no.
with the boots. So no, you
I have
definitely.
advantage because of my cape, I think.
Yeah,
I think
I
my
would.
cape gives
So
you
I'm just gonna
advantage.
say that the passive perception in this case is.
Dude,
gonna
you
be
could
enough.
actually just fly over to her.
Two is
I
a
could.
perceptive person. Two, you hear his or you don't know if they're his, but you hear footsteps moving towards you swiftly.
I'm not swiftly.
Okay.
I'm
Careful.
going to get my guard to turn towards the noises.
Pull on his left ear.
Yeah.
How?
Turn, boy.
How are you gonna do that?
And he yells out in pain. He's like ah. But he
I'm not like I'm just like
You're off.
like a tapping on his right shoulder like this direction.
So two things are
But-
going to happen here at once. One, the rest of the group, you come around a corner and you see across like this tinier market square that you're at. You see across the other side of the square, you see a sphere of darkness.
So I can see in it, and I
Yes.
immediately just like put my head
And-
in one hand.
Can
So that's
you
one
even
thing.
see darkness?
Anna looks at Nox for
The-
explanation.
The
You
other
see
thing,
through darkness as if it were bright light.
the other thing that
Yes.
happens at this moment in time is
So
that
can you even tell that there's darkness there?
I think assuming we can tell, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's just. It's
Yeah, I'm
weird.
assuming.
Yeah.
In my head, I've always pictured like a faint, faded look or something where the spell
So-
would be or
so
something.
meanwhile, though,
I think
um,
everything looks normal, but there's just like no shadows.
Oh, so yeah, that makes sense. So there, the moment that you come around the corner though and see this, the group of you there, the moment you come around the corner, then with your guards looking alert and ready to fight if they need to, then one of the ruffians sort of has like stumbled out of the darkness and was like moving away, and he like sees that he can see again, and he's like, "You'll pay for this!" and he starts running off into an alleyway.
Okay.
I tell the guards with me, and I guess the four of us.
Yeah.
Fuck. Those four guards, I tell them to stand down. And then I walk over into the darkness and I say, Miles 2, the fuck is going
This
on?
is
The other-
all Two's fault. Two killed 2 people
Yeah, you see the bodies there on the ground.
for no reason, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
The ruffians are like the other ruffians, except for the one that ran away just now. They are like, they are just like they actually have sat down on the ground and like have their hands up.
You will see also a partially eaten sweet bread.
So I guess
They're rolled out.
I would look around and I'd see all these weapons around. So I would just walk over to the weapons that were dropped by the men's feet, kick them away from them, and say,
And there's quite a crowd gathering around. They're leaving space around the edge of the darkness, but
Dude, I
they're
just
trying to
realized
see what's going
something.
on.
For poetry's sake,
Mhm.
your halfling boy that you introduced to the party knows Sylvan as well.
Yep, he does.
So he's all this weird conversation that's been going on. If he would ever comment on it, he knows.
He probably
And
just
then
ignores it for the most part.
I would say, well, they're disarmed. Is that good enough?
To be entirely honest, I hadn't feared them attacking us. More too, killing more of them needlessly.
2, would you care to explain yourself?
I translate this.
Yeah, I got you. Keeping up the facade. No problem.
I roll my eyes really exaggerated.
And no one else can see.
Yeah, I like how you two are just having a proper conversation in the middle of a dark
the
order,
guard-
and everyone else is like,
so- The guard underneath 2, 2's guard is like, he's like, if you all are going to talk or whatever, could she please get off of me at least for a bit?
2, get down.
This is fucking ridiculous.
this happened.
See, it might have happened.
It was just the sweet roll. That's all they wanted.
You never even found out what they want. Well, I don't know.
They wanted the sweet rolls, man.
So the guard asked he asked you very kindly to get off of him for a bit.
And then I ordered 2 to get down.
Yeah. The ordering part is like definitely what's keeping me up.
Okay. The man starts to sob a bit.
He feels like a distinct tightening of my grasp upon him.
he sobs more. He's like, it seems like the stress has just gotten to him. He's like, please. You're a guest, I know, but I just want to be safe.
In Elven, I guess I would say, 2, I think you've about broken this man's mind.
Are we still talking about the guard completely?
Yes.
This guy is shook as fuck.
He's been having this elf ordered him around all day. And I was
I'm
right.
going to
What
I'm
did you
going
do?
to respond in Elven. I saved this man's life.
Are you sure? It really doesn't look like these men here on the ground could have done much against you.
They look scared for their lives.
And I don't know if they understand Elven, but that's what I'm...
Anna's going to blindly walk into the darkness, going towards Nox's voice.
You stumble over one of the ruffians. But then
Oh
you make
jeez,
it.
what the?
And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, please.
What's going on in here?
I'll catch you and lead you over to where we are.
Why is it dark right now?
So 2 doesn't accidentally, I stress the word accidentally, kill anyone anymore.
Any more?
There are 2 dead bodies that you can't see.
I'll speak in Elven. It was no accident.
At least you're honest.
You don't do that in the middle of a city. I say in Elven.
I was told that it was dangerous, and 8 men approached us, surrounding us.
The guards don't seem to appreciate what you've done.
The guard is sobbing underneath. He's like, please,
not
I just
sobbing
want to
because
go.
of that.
I just want to
He
go
just
home to my
wants me
wife.
off of his back.
I just want to go home to my wife.
Look what you've done to this poor man.
I suppose someone from an environment as hostile as where you grew up might make some sense, but generally the cities aren't quite as dangerous as the wilds, no matter how dangerous people say they might be. You probably had nothing to fear.
Well, maybe he should have been more clear.
And about this point in time, pushing through the crowd, you hear like make way, make way.
Do
And,
I recognize? Actually, I can just see. Who is it?
It's
Do I
it's just one of the knights of Aber, one you guys haven't met before, but he's just a knight.
Oh my god.
He has 2 guards with him, and when he sees like the darkness after he pushes through the crowd and can see it, he like pulls out his sword immediately. And is like a great sword, and he's like, what's going on here? Come on out. Well, I don't know what sort of sorcery this is.
My companion killed 2 men, and we are trying to deal with her. Please just leave us be. You can stay
I'm
here.
sure they're
if you
gonna
wish.
leave
We're
after
discussing. We're discussing why it is she is so unruly.
If there's been a murder, then I'd like to get to the bottom of this. Who is that
I
speaking?
find me that it was in
I stay
self-defense.
walking over to my shield, picking it up, and breaking concentration with darkness. Now it's bright light.
Right. So everything is visible now.
Yes.
And he's like,
And it kind of jumps a little bit, like, oh god.
he's like, looks around, and the knight is like, wait a minute, you're the diplomats. What the hell is going on here?
This one, I say, motioning toward two, decided it would be a wise idea to kill two men who were approaching her.
The way that it was
I'm gonna
described
pick up my sweetbread.
is that 8 men rushed her out of nowhere with threatening disposition, and she merely resorted to her instincts and defended herself.
I do see weapons on the ground all surrounding
There
them.
are 5 men sitting on the ground.
Yes, they
like
drew their weapons after she killed 2 of them.
Oh, after?
Yes, after.
And the knight is like, is it these men here? Pointing to the ones that are like sitting on the ground.
Yes, that would be them. And these 2 were with them too, I say, pointing to the corpses.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna speak to Miles, saying, just because you're too stupid to see what they were planning,
one
does not mean they weren't trying to attack us.
one of the
I
men.
will enter into my
I can feel the inter-party combat coming.
to get us killed.
One of,
If you keep insisting, she did this on purpose.
one of the men on the ground, like that's sitting like on the ground there. He's like, wait, we weren't gonna attack them. We promised. We just wanted to. They attacked us. We just wanted to ask them why they were standing. Why she was on top of one of our guards. We got some sense of civic pride, you know. He's yelling this out towards the knight, who like seems to take this in. And he's like, "Is 2 still on top of the guard?"
Yes.
No,
She hasn't gotten off of him.
no, I picked up my sweetbread.
Okay, so when you picked
so
up
you
the
get off.
sweetbread, then you would have been off. And so the knight looks around. He's like, one of you was on top of one of our city guards.
Did that happen after the dark? Yeah, that happened after the darkness.
that
So you'd have
happened
seen her
after
get
the
off.
darkness.
Oh, okay,
was
yeah.
gone.
So he would definitely. So he'd be like, he's like, why were you on top of our guard? If you don't mind me asking.
I translate.
I asked him, and he agreed.
And the man is like sobbing a bit. And he's like, I didn't want to, but I thought I had to. You know, she's a diplomat.
Hey, he didn't get threatened. He got persuaded.
Hashtag me too.
He's like, I felt like I was pressured into it. And the knight looks at 2 and he's like,
This definitely makes it feel like I intimidated him.
the knight is like, you, looking at 2, he's like, you are a guest in our city, but the fact that when approached by citizens of our city, who certainly, and he looks at them, certainly look a little rougher, but still, if this is true that they did not have their weapons drawn, and you killed 2 of them, this is cause for concern. Miles translates, I'm assuming, to keep
Yes.
up the act. So he says, like, you know, there's cause for concern there.
Yeah, I agree. Your citizens should be less hostile.
I'll tell you what, the Duke will hear of this, but I'll make sure the bodies are taken care of. You may leave. And in fact, one of the guards, Miles, your guard kind of like taps you on the shoulder, and he's like, Miles, sir, it's actually about time to be heading back. The feast will be
Very
beginning
well.
soon.
How dead are the people
They're dead.
that 2 killed?
They have
Like,
arrows
how
in their
dead?
skulls.
Yeah, but like, how dead?
They're dead.
Alright.
No, actually, make me a medicine check.
Checking to see how dead the bodies are.
They're definitely dead.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't think I can bring that one back. Looking at one with an arrow
Yeah.
through its eye socket.
Yeah. So you guys are told that you should head back to the to the palace castle now.
Okay.
And out of character.
How does this country have the idea of blood money?
You mean like paying for
The blood price for killing somebody, stuff like that.
I suppose you'll have to find out when you.
Well, I wouldn't.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, in general, I got you. Normally, yes. Normally you're either like, you know, you get a limb chopped off, or you're executed or punished severely right away for killing another person. Normally, nobility are somewhat exempt from this.
AKA can give money.
Well, not only that, people can actually lots of times have the option to pay, but it's an expensive thing, so they can't most of the time, and they have to have the limb chopped off instead. But the
So how much does it generally cost to kill people?
It's a good question. Maybe like 50 gold pieces, we'll say.
Oh god. Well, okay.
Because it's sort of based on like how much the average person is going to bring in taxes over their whole life. I don't know, you know. 50 gold though.
Anna would talk to that guardsman about paying the price for their lives to the families.
He'll tell you actually that he expects that that two might be let off the hook easy anyways, because like diplomatic immunity or something like that. But and also the situation was a little iffy, although he's like kind of says that with some doubt in his own voice. But he's like, you know, you probably don't need to pay, but if you want to, it'd be a good sign of goodwill to the city.
All right. I ain't paying them.
All right.
You can handle it.
Sounds good. So the
Did I hear this talk of paying?
I wasn't being secretive about it.
Yeah, so probably, maybe.
I would. Who exactly are you talking to?
The guard that came up to us, but yelling about this whole situation.
Approach the guard, reach into my pocket, pull out 10 platinum, and place it in his hand. Make sure the victims' families get this money.
And he nods. He's like, very well.
Unfortunately, that is all of the large coin I have.
And he's like, this is fine. So the so out of character, how much longer do you guys want to go? Another. We won't go too much longer, I don't think, but we can go a little longer if you guys are fine.
We can finish this feast, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe a little more after that. We'll see. Depends on what happens. So, yeah. So you guys are brought back to the castle and like shown to your quarters if you hadn't stopped by there before, and told that you should probably like get yourselves a little more presentable. Like just, you know, dust off the blood that two had splattered on her garments.
Presto change-o, clean up the clothes-o.
Yeah.
I was behind a guard at that point.
Yeah,
Also,
he is more of the blood.
Like,
Maybe that's why he's horrified. The blood splashed all over him.
If anything, it was like a first-person video game for him, where he just kind of saw like a POV of an arrow shot.
On the bright side, that guard's gonna be loyal to his wife forever now because he got somewhat tempted by a cute elf woman and then had the worst day of his entire life.
Also, Perplex, make me an insight check as you're. Make me an insight check. This is insight into this city as a collective entity.
What the fuck? Okay.
Okay. As you're going back, you see some people like ushering their kids back into their homes when they see you. Word is spread pretty quickly, apparently.
Used to know the manslayer.
Anyway, so but you guys make it back to the castle, and they're like, the feast will actually start in like an hour. Guests will start arriving.
so I stay in my armor. I actually don't own nice clothes.
They will lend you some if you
Same.
want to wear them.
My armor probably costs more.
Yeah, probably.
Well, you see, my armor is dressy armor, as said by you, so...
Okay.
I will stay in my commoner's clothes with scale mail.
Okay.
And I will have my fancy rapier on my hip.
Okay. So
Darwin probably needs clothes, though.
he might accept the clothes they offer him to borrow some halfling-sized, nicer robes and not robes, like garments. And so yeah, so the feast.
Actually,
Yes.
if they insist,
they won't insist. They'll basically say you can do what you want, but we recommend it.
I will upgrade to some traveler's clothes.
Okay, sounds good. They'll give you some traveler's clothes.
Damn, getting fancy.
They'll be like,
Yeah.
when you say that you're like, I'll take some clothes, they're like, oh yes, and then they bring out like these fine clothes. You're like, no, I'll just take these normal ones. Charlie, come here. So after an hour of getting ready and just, chilling out after that incident, your guards like basically tell you, okay, it's time to go.
Right.
And actually, when you guys are in your quarters, the guards will stay outside the door. They won't actually come in the quarters with you.
I would have insisted
Yeah.
anyway, because
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
the fuck out of my room.
Yeah, no, they would
Get
not
the
come in
fuck
the
out of
rooms
my
with you.
room.
And so the rooms do have windows.
unless John wanted to come in.
But the rooms are up like on the third floor maybe, but they do have windows.
Okay.
Anyways, though, so
Did John want to come in?
no, he definitely does not. In fact, actually, Perplex, when you guys get back to the castle, then you receive a new guard, and John goes away.
I'm gonna offer for him to stay in my room.
The new one?
Yeah. Just like hand gesture him into the room.
He shrugs and he comes right in.
All right.
And anyways, so the feast arrives, and minor nobles from the surrounding area start to arrive.
Oofta.
There is merchants from the city and a couple of merchants from Riverdale even. Quite a few people are arriving, and and you're called into like the main feasting hall. There's a lot of people in here, like a couple hundred people, all in all. And you actually see a ways away that there is the festivities have sort of started, but there's going to be like an actual like ceremony to call it into official, to call it into order, whatever, in a bit. And you see that over in the main, at the head of the table, this big long feasting table, is a figure in a particularly large and comfortable chair, accompanied by what is a young woman as well, in the chair next to him. And he is very clearly the center of attention. He is... Give me a second. He looks pretty young. He looks like he's maybe in his early 20s, like 23, 24 maybe. Maybe 22, I don't know. Pretty young guy. He's got fine features about him. He's got black hair and blue eyes. And I don't know, pretty short-cut hair. And he seems to be smiling at lots of the guests that are coming by and greeting him, it seems. His wife appears to be maybe even a couple of years younger than him, and she has very, very nice brown hair and green eyes. So I'm trying to think who would know this. Anna and Miles, both of you roll me just a flat d20. This is just going to be like odds.
I'll roll a wisdom
wouldn't you
because
use-
that's also just a flat d20 and that's easier.
Why wouldn't you use a D100 for odds? Literally.
I don't know. I just set like a fake DC. Okay. So Anna, you know who this is. You maybe saw this woman once before.
Is it not
that
obvious who this is?
Yeah, it's his wife. I mean, I'm talking about the woman, not the Duke. Anna, you've seen the woman before. And you know who the woman is. The woman is the daughter of the king.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, obviously this kid is the duke, but no, the Anna knows that the woman is also the princess of the kingdom. And
I feel like this should have been something the Duke told us.
Yeah.
well, for whatever reason, it slipped his mind. And she's accompanying him, sitting next to him, and smiling at the guests. And yeah, so they're over there. What do you guys want to do? Just hang out? In general?
I mean-
Full proper noble. Like, if I'm supposed to be doing introductions, I'm doing introductions, bowing, greeting.
Okay, sounds good.
Guess
So-
we'll just
Being the
follow
perfect
her lead.
diplomat.
Okay.
I'm being the
She
perfect
seems-
crier for a diplomat.
Since she seems to know what she's doing, I'll follow her lead, I guess.
Okay. And yeah, so you're introduced to actually a couple minor, some minor lords from the area, like the lords of the other little green dots in this area that are here, and a
The
couple
lords of the green dots.
and a couple like landed knights of the little white dots too.
Are our guards still insisting on following it?
They are not following you in here actually at the
Okay.
feast. Yeah, at the feast they're like, there's plenty of guards around anyways.
Do you imagine that entourage?
Well, no, they'll follow you. So yeah, you meet a couple of like the more minor landed knights who are just lords over like smaller tracts of land in those like white dot little communities. But they're knights nonetheless, and they're landed knights even. And there's plenty of like unlanded knights here as well that serve the Duke and just live in Averton or live in the other towns under other lords. Lots of knights around in armor, more decorative stuff as well. And after about 30 minutes, then sort of you hear like a bell ringing, like ding 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 ding, and it seems like the attention is being called for. There's like a chamberlain up front next to the Duke who is calling for attention of everyone. And actually around this point in time, like a couple servants would come up to you guys and ask that you come up next to the Duke.
Oh,
Oh
fuck.
no.
Okay.
Okay.
While we're all traveling up, I'll whisper in everyone's ears who the wife is.
Nox's response to that is just, fuck.
And so you reach the
He's totally like, I don't even know what that means.
You know what a king means, right?
So
Well, yeah, but like,
But and you know that the
Daughter,
king.
like-
Well,
you might not know the significance of it. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
If you've been paying attention, you know that the Duke that we're working for said that the king doesn't like him very much right now, and
yeah.
the man that we have caused trouble in his town is married to said king's daughter. So
You should at least be able to
we're
put
like double
together
fucked right now.
That
Perhaps
we're
even
in a
triple
tight
fucked.
situation.
So you're brought up to like near where the Duke is, but the Duke stands up and is talking out to everyone seated at the table and other people who are still standing. You're sort of brought off to the side, and the servant might whisper to Anna. He's like, "The Duke will present you and your lady in a few minutes." So the Duke starts talking, and he has a pretty like strong voice for such a young fellow. He has a very like strong, powerful voice, but he acts pretty cordially to all his guests, and basically like invites them formally to join in the festivities, and tells them, he's like, it has been almost a couple decades now since my father passed away, and I was but a child at the time, but I certainly do hold the memory of my father dearly, and I'm trying to think how he'd say this. He'd be like, and he's like, and I'm certain that he would not look too harshly upon even his enemies at this point in time. And he might even toss a slight glance over at you guys. But then he continues on and kind of just has like a 2 or 3 minute long speech, basically talking about the memory of his father, and how this feast is in memory of him. but that he wants everyone to focus on the positive things and to join in the festivities. And then he's like, and one last thing, we actually have guests from the Duchy of Felling, from the Duke of Felling. I'd like to present them now. They are led by a woman named Nox, a knight of Felling, and the leader of her own. I don't know. Anna would have announced that it's her order, right? Or just leader of a order.
I've been announcing it, so yeah.
He'd be like leader of the Order of Dusk. And he the servants are like go, and they motion for you to move forward into where everyone can see you.
Sure.
And the Duke is looking at you guys now, and he smiles as you're walking towards him, and then he motions for you all to bow to the mass of people here.
I mean,
I do so.
Sure, yeah.
And they clap.
I will give a very exaggerated bow.
And there's minor applause throughout the crowd. And the Duke turns to you all and says, "And won't you join me at these seats here?" And he points to the empty seats that are right at his end of the table.
Yeah, bows to him and kind of heads that way.
Okay.
I will sit down.
All right. And so then he says to everyone, he's like, "May the festivities begin," and everyone starts talking again, and it gets very noisy. But you all sit down in the area near him, right at the end of the table. His personal knight Maynard comes up at some point and is sitting sort of right behind over his shoulder. And food is brought out to you, lots of food, whole pigs are brought out and put on the table, and the finest food that you guys have had in a long time. Since the other feast in Fellington. And you're full over the huge bread you ate, fair. And the Duke, he kind of just eats for a bit, and you notice that his wife doesn't eat at all, actually. But the wife seems to be just kind of studying you guys intently. And the Duke eats
I'm also not eating and returning her studies.
I mean, I'll eat because I'm not afraid of my food.
I'm just gonna watch her.
Okay.
Watch me.
Sounds good. And after the Duke eats for a couple... Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, before Alejandro eats, though, he...
Oh, is it gonna...
he inspects his food and drink for poison.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Can't you do that with
all he has to do is be
within
able
a radius?
Actually, yes. All he has to do is be able to see and smell it, and it has to be within 5 feet of it, and he knows.
Okay.
So people on either side of them.
Yeah, there is he knows that there is no poison in the people next to him. And
I guess he would just give an okay sign to everyone.
AKA start eating.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming you
Nox
would have discussed this. Yeah.
I guess she's not afraid of it.
And I guess you would have discussed this before.
Ain't afraid of no food.
Well, I can't be poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid of the food. I'm just actually.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So the Duke will eat for a couple minutes and drink some wine before looking up at you all and saying, "So welcome to Averton. What do you all think of my city?"
Very large.
It would be a rather nice place if only our friend here hadn't.
Do you think this
had
is
a
the
lapse
time,
in-
Miles?
No,
And
I suppose not.
He looks looks down at his food while he's using a knife to cut something, and without looking up, he's like, "Yes, I heard about the incident today. Only a couple hours ago. It is fine. Worry not about it. Although I do hope your friend can refrain from such outbursts in the future. I understand that she is not adapted well to the language here."
It is
That's correct.
unfortunate. She can barely speak common. She understands almost none of it. And by common, I mean all.
No, I got you. No problem. And he's like,
I like the mix of fully trying to throw me under the bus while still keeping up the shtick that I don't know common.
And he's like, well, because that could come in useful. You know, he's like, the Duke
So
is like,
good.
she would do well to learn such thing, learn the language.
I am her translator.
Such.
I'm doing my best to tutor her.
I hold up the okay hand.
Such
to the
people,
Duke.
that are foreigners here would do well to learn the language. They, or it will be a lot harder for them to survive. Very well.
Is he saying that like a threat?
No, kind of just offhand, nonchalantly. And he
Just
looks
waiting for the daggers to slide into everyone's screen.
at this point. He looks over at his wife and he's like, why are you not eating? And she's like, I'm not hungry. And he's like, very well, suit yourself. And
Are you feeling all right, princess?
and she looks at you and she's like, I'm fine.
I was half
I'm
expecting her
gonna-
to say your name.
Is she lying?
I'm gonna speak up and calm.
Roll.
Oh, fuck you.
You can roll me an
And say,
insight.
I feel it. I'm stuffed to the gut or stuffed to the throat.
She doesn't seem like she's super fine.
I can't actually believe you.
So what do you say to? So, cause
Which is like, oh,
Stupid.
not hungry, you know, like I don't want to eat. I'll be like, oh, I get it.
so wait, so are you?
I'm full up.
Imperfect Aldish, just fuck
So
you.
you gonna?
Yeah.
So you're gonna say that?
Probably not
Yeah.
perfect, all this.
Right.
since she
Like,
was,
it's definitely
a
not
couple
perfect.
months
The
ago,
Duke,
but
the Duke. You're not trying to hide this, right? So the Duke would definitely hear.
No, I'm definitely speaking in common.
Okay. So the Duke will look and be like, "You."
Nox will immediately feign surprise.
Like I said, I'm tutoring her.
That was the Aldish of someone who sounds like they've lived here for some time. In fact, where are you from? And if she really does need translation, could you please ask her that for me? I'm curious. I do not see her type around here much.
I will translate, and also while translating, I will say, you should keep up the act because it might prove useful.
Bitch.
Also, while you're
What
translating
does this
that, the Duke will also like motion to like a guard or servant nearby and whisper something in their ear.
Hey, I bet the Duke knows Sylvan.
Maybe.
I don't care if any of you. Oh, I don't know if any of you guys care to like try to hear what he's saying.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Okay.
If we can possibly
It
hear
will be
sure.
like an active perception check, right? Like, try and
Yes.
listen
I'm
to
very
the-
interested in what's
Right.
happening, so I mentioned
Yeah, like, the Duke is the biggest threat in the room.
Mhm.
Probably the biggest threat in the city, so...
Yeah.
Oh my
Probably
god.
all
I
actively
never
trying to
pay attention.
yeah.
Fuck.
Okay. And so unfortunately,
Don't worry, I was able to
Are
add a
the
guard.
followers paying attention
The
in
good
this
old
situation?
you know what? In this situation, Darwin is not because he doesn't care about stuff like this. He's told you that, Anna. But Alejandro, he's accustomed to nobility and their customs, so he'll definitely be listening.
Save us, Alejandro! Save
Yeah.
us!
Alejandro can check. Okay.
Well,
And so
that's the best one.
that actually
It's an average roll.
that actually does succeed. The the DC was only 10 for all of you. It was 15 for 2.
Oh, so 2 succeeded.
No,
Oh.
it was 15 for 2 in Miles though, because they're translating stuff back and forth right now and like
Yeah, we were
distracted.
engaged.
I mean-
Whereas the rest of us are actively just like
Yes.
No,
horrified.
I'm like listening to the Duke.
No,
Like,
I know.
Miles is translating.
I'm just
on the
saying you have
side,
someone else
but,
talking
like,
to you.
But by no means am
But-
I like
but it's-
actually ever listening to him
Tr-
because I know what has been said.
In that case, I'll say fine. You hear two. 2 and Alejandro both here. The Duke, all he had said was, please go fetch whatever the other dude's name was. Crap. The priest, Theodore or Fedor. whatever.
Oh no.
He said, please go fetch Theodore for me.
Oh no.
Alejandro would whisper that in your ear, definitely, Nox.
Okay.
And then the Duke counter listens. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't notice. Anyways, though, so the so Alejandro tells you that, and the Duke is sort of after you translate that. What did he? Oh God, I forgot what he said already. He said, "Where are you from?" Two.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
He had asked two where two is what part of the world or like where.
Are you playing with Roll20 right now?
Yeah, hold on, give me a sec.
Don't do that.
Give me a sec.
Don't map drop us,
I'm
you
back.
son of a bitch.
I'm back. No, I'm not. I'm not map dropping. I was moving the stream view so it shows Averton more.
That would actually be hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, now the Duke's attacking. No, and then all 200 guests are also attacking. Roll initiative.
Suddenly,
I'll roll
there's
initiative.
a big ball of darkness around all
I'll roll
of us.
initiative for each
And then
200.
a bigger ball of
guests.
darkness around all of us.
All right, you know what,
No.
Nux? The rest of the party's a mistake. Let's get 1,000 feet away from here.
Yeah, you go together. No,
We
so
just
the,
hold hands, one of
yeah.
us teleports, and then the other one...
So the you go like a fifth of a mile, just boop. Yeah. No, so the Duke had asked if where two is from.
Upside Down, Texas.
Okay, yeah, the name of the
And
island.
I translate that.
Yep.
I
Texas
mean,
is upside down. Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
translation for like the name that
Yeah.
we've given.
It's fine. You tell him the name though, and he's like,
Upside Down, Texas.
I didn't realize that your kind existed there.
Would he understand the name that my village has given it though?
Probably not.
I don't think he would.
But he would. Well, I don't know. You might have learned the normal name for it.
Like I would definitely just say what I would
Okay.
have called it for the last 160 years.
Okay.
All right. Would I know what that is?
There you go. That's
I think
the better
so.
question.
I think so is a thing. I think like yeah, we're not gonna worry about it.
That's one of the islands to the northwest, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
I would translate.
Yeah, and he would be
this
like,
for the
I
Duke.
didn't realize your type existed there.
I translate it for two.
And so he'd be
They don't.
I translate it back.
I'm assuming you translate. He's like well then, I hope that we do not have any more incidents with you in our city. I do respect the folk of my city and their lives.
Just assume I'm translating everything.
Mhm, yes, I assume that. I respect the lives of my citizens.
I give him an okay sign with my hand.
And he looks to the rest of the group. He looks at Nox. He's like, and so you are a knight of the old Duke of Felling.
Correct.
Well, it is always a pleasure to meet another member of the nobility and the knighthoods of the kingdom. And he's like, do not worry about the business that you are here for. We will take care of that tomorrow.
Of course.
Take
It's a day of celebration, as I understand.
Mm-hmm. About this point in time, the priest dude shows up, Feodor, and he
Freodor.
Feodor shows up, and he kind of just stands on the other side of the Duke. And
Anna will greet him.
hey Miles, what's your passive perception?
10.
Okay. It's very clear that the princess seems to be eyeing you a lot. Kind of like curiously, but you catch her glances a few times, more so than at anyone else at this part of the table. I don't know if you care to do anything with that information, but
Not right now, I
Okay.
don't.
so Fedor,
Yeah, like I said, I greeted the priest when he showed up, since presumably we're all like right there
yeah,
next to each other.
he just nods at you.
Kick.
Yeah, and so
Fuck you, bud.
so the Duke would say, as I mentioned, business we'll save for tomorrow. But I do have a question for y'all.
You feel lucky?
Well, some do know of the locations. Many know of the existence of the Blades of Alder, and quite a few know that my household is in possession of one. It is not every day that someone knows how to recognize one from sight.
Well, you see, my friend Anna here and I are well acquainted with the old stories.
Yes, but I believe it was your friend Miles here that had recognized.
Of course, but he's been traveling with us We've had plenty of time to talk about all manner of things.
We sing of the old tales often.
Very well.
All the time.
Yes, but yes, the Vanquisher, as it is called, is an heirloom of my family, but I have entrusted it to Maynard, as he is a close friend of mine and my closest advisor. And Maynard,
I suppose it can't be any more. I suppose the best word to use would be lazy, as what the folks up in Norland were doing. I heard it got stolen.
Which the other striker you speak of?
Is that the one in Norland?
Yes.
I just heard the Blade of Alder was stolen.
Yes, yes, there are 3 Blades of Alder. The Duke of Norland has always kept one. We have had one for many generations.
And I assume the third is in Alder's Landing.
Precisely. But but with that, yes, if you have any questions or are curious to see the flail in action, Maynard could present you with his skills.
No, that has to be a threat.
No, I mean, you can roll an insight to see if he means it.
Yeah, Nox isn't really sure how to take that.
Right.
Yeah, I'll insight that.
Roll an insight.
I will also insight that.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled above a 10.
So Miles and Perplex, Miles and 2, it actually seems like he didn't mean any threat by that, but he certainly kind of is like, he's maybe being a little playful with the way he's suggesting it, yeah. But it's not a serious threat or anything.
I'm going to tell Miles and Sylvan to ask him if he is trying to threaten us.
My friend 2
and
here.
Cutting you off is Feodor, who says,
Yeah,
"No, he is not."
I figured that's what his role was.
He's
here.
like, "No, he is not. Not trying to threaten you, and I can provide translation for you if you'd like." In Sylvan.
He's telling me in Sylvan.
Yes.
Or
he's telling you in Sylvan.
I tell him.
Wait.
What was he trying to imply then?
Out of character. Is he using the spell tongues?
Is there a
because if he is, all of us would understand everything he says, as if it was a language that we understand.
No, he is not.
So he would be legitimately speaking Sylvan.
He is speaking Sylvan.
Interesting.
I like how many people I've made. I like how many people I've made know Sylvan.
You didn't make me know Sylvan.
I mean, correct.
Yeah.
It was surprising that anybody in the party even knew it.
But Darwin, he does it just because he was traveling in the woods and kind of like ran into other things.
I know it because I hunt creatures of the Fae.
So but anyways, so he says,
as far as I'm aware, only creatures speak it, really.
I just can't wait till you say something about Darwin that he'll actually be interested in, because he hasn't indicated at all that he knows Sylvan.
He's just focused on eating right now and relaxing.
Of course, like, this is some fucking good food.
So, but anyway, so Fedor's like, if you need any translation, I can.
He's a halfling.
Oh.
If you need any translation, I can do it as well. Although your friend seems quite capable.
Half this fucking conversation is just like, what? What are they fucking saying over there?
I definitely just tell him or ask him like what he meant by his previous statement.
Ask the Duke?
The Duke.
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, nothing. Just that Maynard is quite a skilled and experienced warrior, and that he loves to show off his abilities. I meant nothing of it.
I give him the okay hand.
All right. So like
Universal
the Duke probably
across
won't.
all languages.
He's probably not gonna bring any other serious subjects up. He'll just kind of be like doing small talk with you guys. The Duke will, and then eventually other minor nobles and merchants and stuff will come and start like talking to him again, and exchanging pleasantries. And then some performers come in, like jesters and musicians. There's actually like a marksman, like a very famous like trick archer who comes in and like, you know, shoots 3 arrows at once into like 3 different apples on 3 different people's heads, stuff like that.
Can all 3 apples be in Susanoo's mouth? And by Susanoo, I mean Tusanoo.
No. No, they don't actually bother you guys.
How do you even fit 3 apples in your mouth?
No, it's
Very
3
carefully.
different people. It's not, and they're not on their. It's not on their mouth. It's on their heads, like on top.
Well, no, I just wanted
Yeah.
Tusanoo to get
No, I know.
shot in the head.
Yes, I got it.
Wow. Rude.
I'm assuming Miles is still a little annoyed about the incident earlier.
Clearly.
More than a little.
So after like quite a few hours, like this feast started in the like late afternoon, early evening, but is going on until pretty late at night, officially, and then other people are allowed to people are allowed to stay and stuff if they wish. But the so I don't know, like would you guys just hang out?
I will go as soon as Anna indicates it's polite to leave.
Yep.
Does the princess keep eyeing me?
Yeah. So
Ryan?
so eventually later this evening, then after a couple hours, then it's polite to leave now. It's acceptable. So Anna and Nox and Alejandro could leave. I don't know when the rest of the group plans on going.
That's assuming Anna leaves, because, like,
Yeah, that's true.
Nox doesn't fucking know.
Say
Yeah,
princess.
Anna's gonna probably leave as soon as it's polite
Yeah,
to
okay.
avoid more issues.
Okay.
I'm going to follow the first person to leave.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm going to stay for a little while longer.
Okay. And
Say princess.
yes.
What exactly do you find so peculiar about me? I've seen you watching me during this entire feast.
The Duke looks a little alarmed by this. The princess is like, "Oh, it's nothing. You just do you out of character?
Get cooked?
Out of character, do you have what do you have on right now? You have like traveler's clothes, you said?
I have traveler's clothes, and over top of that is scale mail.
Mm-hmm.
On my hip, like not actually attached to my arm, is my shield. On my same hip is my decorated rapier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing the cloak of the bat, an invisible ring of mind shielding.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bag of holding, a normal backpack.
Okay. That's
You
fair,
wearing
yeah.
all that at the dinner
So-
table?
Yes.
So she's just like, "Oh,
My
nothing.
God.
You just
For adventure.
have you have confidence, but you have a rough look about you."
Does he?
uh,
I guess
Ruggedly handsome.
And the Duke is kind of
Ooh,
like
you're so rough.
the Duke is actually maybe talking to someone else right now, like a merchant of the city.
Wasn't he just alarmed by the start
Yeah, he
of
like
this
looked over because he
conversation?
overheard that part, and now he's back to talking with Sky.
And suddenly a merchant conveniently distracts his
Yeah.
attention. Damn merchants.
And the princess is like, it's like, I'm sorry if I offended you.
No, I doubt you could say anything to offend me.
And she nods and then kind of looks down at her lap.
I don't know what this is anymore.
So,
So what is it about
I
me?
feel
Is
like
it
she
my
could actually
clothing?
say a lot
and
to offend you.
and she's like, excuse me, but I must go now.
Farewell.
Turns away, stays at the table.
No,
I'm going to get up and
Just
leave.
looks the other direction.
She actually-
I must go.
she kind of says it, and then she kind of like rushes away from the table, and like a couple like maids, like handmaidens, follow her.
By the way, do guards start following us once we leave this dinner party automatically?
Yeah.
Based on how she was speaking, could I determine if she recognized me at all?
Roll an insight check, yeah.
Because, like, I am the son, and the next in line, other than being cast out, for one of the more influential cities.
Yeah, you're not sure if she recognized you or not. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. And
Now, my family was originally from Alder's Landing.
Yeah. So is the plan here to just go to bed and like deal with business the next day?
I don't know.
How big are our rooms, by the way? We're
They're-
diplomats, so I'm
They're
assuming they're nice.
good sized rooms. Yeah, they're nice furnished rooms.
But how big?
I don't know, maybe like 30 feet by 30 feet.
Jeez.
I don't know. Or yeah, I don't know. They're good sized.
I'm gonna go.
Are we
when we
on the
when
top
we walked when we
You're on
walked
like
to
the
our
third
rooms,
floor, and there's I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. It's a tall castle. That's some
when we
parts.
walk to our rooms, I am going to tell Nux I want to talk to her and go to her room with her.
Okay. The guards won't
Is there
interfere with
easy access to the roof?
that. There's a window, and you could try to climb up.
It's an easy access.
It's not easy.
Once we
access
get
except
into your
walking up
room-
the stairs.
I'm going
the
to
guard will follow
eyeball
you.
the center, and
Yeah,
I'm
that's okay.
assuming you can guess what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
Tiny hut. I'm gonna actually burn a spell slot so we don't have to sit here for 10 minutes.
Okay, so the you don't trust it.
We're in a privacy hut inside this room now,
Mhm.
and the guards should be none the wiser.
Just the three of us.
Three.
4 of us.
Alejandro.
Four of
Wait,
us.
how many of us
Yeah.
are in this room?
You,
At
me,
least 4.
and our followers, I assume.
Wait, our followers are just. Oop, I
Darwin
did
would
not mean
try to
click
go
that.
with you,
Never mind.
Anna.
Ignore.
Uh
There's 4 of us? Fuck this.
How did these people all get in here?
oh. So
I was just having a conversation with Nox, and suddenly everyone's in this room.
I mean, I
So-
guess you could have not had your halfling come here, but all hunters here.
so what's the plan
Unless
for?
you, like, really indicate just the 2 of us.
Not in particular. I was just picturing like everyone was going back to their rooms, and I'm like, okay,
I
I'm gonna talk to
I
you.
assumed Alejandro was just staying in my room.
Yeah, I was assuming
Oh.
that too.
Oh, sorry. I'll go back to my room. Don't interrupt.
Not like that. Fuck off.
So the so what is
Yeah,
Two's
you can
and
be involved
Miles'
as well.
plans,
I'm going to
if
the
anything?
roof.
Okay, just to
I'll
like
go
look
into
out
my
over the
room.
city.
No, I'm going to meditate for 4 hours on the roof.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The
so
guard,
you
will-
like-
the
So
guard
you
will
like go
follow
to
you.
do you?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, he just
I don't
watches over
care.
you. No.
Just gonna stay there for 4 hours. This dude just sits there.
On the fucking roof.
So the all right, sounds good. So you do that. Meanwhile,
This
after
castle reminds me of a mountain.
not too
Okay.
long after the feast, like the moon has risen
city
and
moon.
it's been dark for a couple hours, but it's not even midnight yet. It's a little before midnight. And Miles, you hear a knocking on your door.
Hold up. Can we have our conversation?
Yeah,
Oh
let
yeah,
them
Yeah,
do
man.
their
Yep,
thing
you do that first. Do
Okay.
that first.
First of all, let's establish who's actually in this room.
Just the 3 of us.
Okay.
Darwin will be
Since I
in
don't
his
think
room. Yeah.
Since I don't think there's any reason for the halfling to be following me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it'll be you 3. That's fine. Have your conversation.
All right. Fuck.
We'll do this and then the thing with Miles, and that'll wrap up the session.
So we avoided getting beheaded at the dinner table.
It was a close thing. Miles is very intent on getting two killed, it seems.
As long as it's just her.
Never not lose anybody while we're here.
So, I assume that we should be fine to talk here. What? How do we actually intend on finding if this Duke is part of the cult?
Well, we're going to have to find a way into his private quarters, I assume, which means we're going to have to ditch these guards. I can get around pretty well in the dark. It's just getting out of their sight to begin with. And they don't follow us in here, so maybe if we sneak out the window or something. Although, I might be able to teleport far enough away that they can't see me.
Alejandro would bring something out. He'd be like, "And my lady, what do we do if we are caught outside the room, or you are caught outside the room? It will look suspicious."
Well, what's the light level?
In this room,
Yeah.
it's like dimly lit, I would say.
Okay. So, since it's dimly lit, I just become invisible. And then I say, does that answer your question?
And he nods. He's like, "Yes, my lady."
And then
When did you start being able to do that?
Not several weeks ago, although it's not quite as handy as what I've seen you be able to. You've got to stay more or less perfectly still.
Speaking of that, I can make us invisible if you can get both of us out of this room.
I should be able to. Where would you like to go?
Well, preferably away from the guards far enough that we can start investigating.
Alejandro would say, like, "If you do not plan for me to come with, I could easily open the door. You slip out while I'm visible, and I just ask the gods something trivial."
How many rooms is in this?
Quite a few. It's like a wing of the building that's dedicated
So it's got
to
like a-
guests and housing.
Well, like the guest chambers. Are they like multi-room guest chambers, like separate baths and shit?
Yeah.
I suppose that would save me the need to teleport, Adi. Bad idea.
So basically, he would ask for room service, and we'll slip out.
Well, he's just asking the guard something.
Yeah.
Walk out.
Yeah,
Something like that,
just
yeah.
enough. He's basically just say, Alejandro would just say, like, he could just open the door, because then if you're invisible, you just slip by while he opens it.
All right. Sounds like a plan. How long does this give us? Hannah?
I can keep us invisible for an hour at a time.
Okay.
Where's one of these possible? Let's mark down. All right, we can do that. Do we? Well, I guess the next question: are we going to do that this session? Since it's a whole nother.
We'll roleplay that out next session.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So that's what we're going to do.
Yep. So, meanwhile, we'll say it's probably actually just around the same time, maybe a little later than that conversation and them leaving. But the what was I gonna say? There is a knock on your door, Miles.
I answer it.
Okay, like you open the door.
Yeah.
And you see that your guard is actually nowhere in sight.
Okay.
And sitting here is like a maiden, like a maid,
Okay.
personal maid.
Sitting?
What? No, standing.
So that you said.
Oh, standing. No.
Okay.
So she's
They've
standing.
been here a while. They
she's
brought a
standing
chair
here,
out.
and she's like, my lord, Miles.
Yes.
My lady would like to speak to you.
Okay.
The
The actual fuck.
the Duke's wife.
All right.
She wishes to speak to you. I can take you to her if you'd like. Please,
I nod.
please, do you have a hood on your cloak?
Yes.
She's like, please, could you put your hood up and keep your head down, as you follow me?
You have a bag.
Yeah. And she pulls one out.
I look at the bag. I look inside of it, How much room is in there?
It's like a burlap sack. Small bag. I don't know.
I think I'm likely to draw less attention this way, and I turn into a bat.
And she goes, and like you fly in the bag, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And she's like,
What the fuck?
she kind of like
I like it.
She like holds it back, and she's like, Mr. Miles, I don't know what's going on, but if that is you, I'm going to close the bag now. And
I nod in bat form.
okay, she doesn't
I
seem like
give her
she
an
even,
okay sign with my
she
back.
doesn't even notice really the nod in bat form, but she closes up the bag and then she like rushes away, and you just feel yourself being jostled around this bag. After like 5 or 10 minutes, then the bag opens and you see the sky, and she like peers in. And
Alright.
I'm assuming you fly out and look around.
I mean, not while she's looking in, because I don't want to startle her.
Yeah, she kind of like it like opens up the bag and holds it up.
All right, I will fly out.
All right, and what you see is that you're on, well, like above in, I don't know. You're on a balcony. And this is a beautiful view. You see like the lights of the harbor down below, and the busiest part of the city from up here. This is like a pretty high up balcony that overlooks a lot of the city, including the harbor and the sea. And you see the moon reflecting over the water.
All right.
And you also see the princess here, and she like is looking, and like it looks a little surprised when when you fly out of this bag.
And after I see the princess, I land on the ground and turn back into a person.
Okay. And yeah, and like there's
Now
curtains.
they think you're a vampire.
There are curtains that are like closing off the balcony from whatever room is inside here, and like there's a overhang on the balcony too, so it's like you're kind of sheltered in a little bit. It's a safe place. It looks like, and sheltered from prying eyes. And the princess, she looks at you and she's like, that is quite strange.
It's the cloak.
I just picture you grabbing the sides of it and flying around. So.
And she's like, my Lord Miles,
Please, just call me Miles.
Miles, I must admit to you, I'm quite intrigued by you.
Okay.
And she's like, you and your companions, you seem quite honest with each other.
That's one way to say it.
And you seem like an interesting group.
Interesting would be one way to put it.
I just wish I could go with you on an adventure like that.
We gotta steal
To
the
be
princess.
entirely honest, princess, I would, but caring for the princess's safety would be much too stressful for me.
I would not ask it of you. I cannot leave anyways. I could not do that to my father. Especially not after the death of my brother. And she like roll me an insight check.
Okay. Where are you, insight? There you are.
Oh, shit.
Natural 20.
Okay. And you notice that as she says this, she says like she doesn't want to disappoint her father. Basically, she couldn't do that to her father, especially not after her brother has died. You notice that she almost.
Oh.
You also notice that almost instinctively, it seems, her hands like reach down towards her belly
Okay.
and like almost like grasp her belly.
Are you hungry?
She's pregnant, dumb.
she's like, oh, and like removes her hands. He's like, no, I'm not hungry. My diet has been strange lately.
Medicine check. I mean,
So I assume you're pregnant then.
How did you know?
There's only two reasons someone would grab their stomach like that.
Oh,
Either they haven't eaten, or they have something inside of them.
yes, I.
And I left the one. Had something inside of them.
No, so she's like, yes, I am with child. And she actually just breaks down and starts crying. The maid has left, by the way.
Okay.
But so the princess starts to cry, and she's like, by the way, you would know this. Her name is Lyria.
I mean, would I know this? I didn't recognize her.
Well, once you like were told who she is, you know that the princess's name is Lyria. You would know that.
Okay.
Lyria. And she's the older sister of the recently deceased prince. She's like 4 years older than he was. Because she's like, she's actually pretty young. She's like 20. He was like 15 or 16, you know. But she's pretty young. I mean, the Duke here is also pretty young. But she's like, she starts crying after she tells you that. She's
Why do you
a child.
cry?
And she's like, it's just the Duke. He doesn't treat me like he used to.
What do you mean? You think he's unfaithful or something?
I don't know about that, but he never. When we were first married, I always felt so loved by him. But now he's of a single mind. All he's ever focused on is his ambitions and furthering his position. And
so you fear he married you to fulfill that goal?
maybe at first it was something more between us, but whatever it was, it's gone away. Miles, please
Yes?
tell me a story of yours.
What the?
She full.
I would...
This is where Miles says the storytellers are downstairs. Let's...
Yeah, let's go talk to those two.
I would recount in somewhat flowery language the
Wait a minute.
exploits it took to defeat the cultists.
Okay, like an overall
all
like chronicle,
of it.
yeah, a
Yeah,
abridged
the entire
version.
thing.
It's a little bit different than your normal performance checks, but I think a performance check is in order.
All right.
It's
I'm not
an oral-
proficient, but
like
I
in-
have a lot of charisma. Wow.
It's a performance as an orator. So I mean, you tell the stuff decent enough, right? Like the information gets across, but
Yeah.
the actual like form
I tell
and
it
style.
about as well as you would expect a commoner.
And she's like, but she doesn't seem to mind, like, or she doesn't criticize you or anything. She's like, at the end though, she's just like, that sounds like it is an interesting tale. Well, hold on one second. What?
Also, for the record, I would have left out the part about getting Striker.
Yeah.
Do you need something from your room? And when was the last time you washed
Hold on, guys, one second.
Because Haley will change the sheets if it's been a while.
Got real quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, I
No,
did.
Poetry muted himself. Rip.
Oh no.
He's dead.
Now I'm the DM because it's my birthday.
It is pretty late.
It's only 2:30.
Alright. So, where were we? What did you say after that, Miles?
After what? I can't remember.
After she just says that sounds like an interesting story, like it.
Oh yeah, I said, for the record, I would have left out the part about getting Striker.
Okay, yeah, fair. But yeah, she seems like she's like, yeah, she's like, that was a nice story, Miles. Thank you. And she like looks down and is like, my husband, he is an ambitious man, but I know that he is a good man at heart. I just don't think he loves me like he used to. Do you kind of just like lend her your ears?
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking about what to say, but I'm also listening.
Yeah, and so she'll be like, is there she'll actually be like, Miles, I know when the Duke and I used to speak more and were more intimate, he told me about his family's history, and he does hold hatred in his heart for the Duke of Felling, who you're here under, correct?
Correct.
Why were you sent here? It seems strange that the Duke would send you.
Have you heard about the attacks in Derbyshire?
And she's like, of course.
To be entirely honest and a little bit blunt, the Duke of Felling, he fears his land will meet a similar fate, and he wishes for your husband to lend aid.
I strongly doubt that any aid will come from my husband to him. Well, Miles, if you're to be here a couple days, then perhaps tomorrow night I could bring you here again.
Perhaps I can recount a different story for you.
Yes, and if there's anything I could help you with while you're here, just let me know.
Allow me to discuss what I was before I entered the Duke's service.
Ooh. Right.
So, I am a hunter of sorts. I hunt creatures of the night. Undead fiends.
Creatures of the
And
night.
she looks surprised. She's like, really?
Yes.
Well then, that is,
I had heard that the royal family in Everton had at one point harbored, how to put this, harbored some sort of patronage to Skazg.
she'd be like, you mean the old northern god?
Yes.
She's like, I don't know much about that.
Very well.
But
So you hunt creatures of the night?
Yes.
Wow. And she seems like she's trying to take this in.
I have a rather simple code I live by in regards to that. There is nothing inherently evil. There is only things that have chosen to do evil.
Mm-hmm.
I've spared many a fiend. I've spared many ghosts. Faye I haven't run into very often. But I imagine if I had, I'd spare many of them.
Okay. And she's like, okay, well, wow. And out of character, I want you to make for me a perception check real quick.
Perception, I'm real good at that one. See?
Okay. It's very pretty out. And so,
It's very beautiful as the knife slides into your kidneys.
She looks at you and she's like, Miles.
Yes?
Can I confide in you something?
Alright.
I would not have told you this had you not told me that tale and told me what you do. But in knowing that, I do think there is something you should know. I'm a vampire. No. No. She thinks about it for a second. She thinks about it for a second. She's like, I once saw something that I couldn't explain well. I think it might have been the work of a fiend.
What did you see?
And she like looks around and she's like, well, you see, I was wandering through the halls late at night, and then I was wandering through one of the studies, and the library halls, and was passing by the study of Feodor. And I heard voices from within his study, and it was late at night. I was curious, and I peeked around the corner, and Feodor seemed to be talking to himself for a good couple minutes. I didn't really listen to one in particular, but then I swore that I saw something in the shadows next to him moving.
What did it look like?
It looked like the shadow itself moving and writhing.
Does that ring any bells?
Well,
I mean,
out of
You've
character.
literally seen a shadow demon.
I have seen a shadow demon, yes.
I would say if it rings a bell to you out of character, it would ring a bell to you in character.
Oh god. Makes
And
me
she's-
think what
she's like,
fucking elf, or not elf boy, a halfling boy saw, but I haven't mentioned that in character.
she's like, and then I also noticed that sitting on his desk while he was speaking to the shadow were bats.
Was it what?
Bats.
Bats?
Yeah, multiple. She's like, yes, bats. They seem to be almost like gathered around him on his desk. And I was afraid, and I hurried back to my room, and I thought I was dreaming. But I thought about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought this could only be something.
Thank you for telling me this.
Yeah. To be honest, Feodor he's always come off to me as a rather. He's always whispered things into my husband's ear that I've always and advised my husband in ways that I felt were just going to lead to more violence. But she's like, and at that point, she kind of like looks at you, like expecting you to say something.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you you need me to repeat the last part?
Yeah.
Yeah, she says like that. She basically says that Fedor, he always kind of rubbed her the wrong way because he was always like basically advising the Duke to do things that would lead to more violence. And then she looks at you expectantly.
Who's Fedor again?
The priest.
Ah.
The one who knew Sylvan.
Yeah. Dealt with all manner of priests. Do you know if he is sincere in his belief?
I do not know. I rarely speak to the man directly.
Would I know what tenets? I forget what the deity is called. Abolo or Agolo or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Would I know the tenets?
Stuff like that is. This is common knowledge because he's like one of the core gods of the pantheon. So he's the god of like war, competition, and pride. He's sort of like a god that was sort of almost embodied like in real life, like the idea. Well, like most of these gods are sort of roughly based off of Greek gods, sort of. I don't know. But he was sort of a god that basically ruled warfare and kind of had the ideals of that warfare should be between two armies on even ground. They fight with honor and pride, and the victor will come out of the battle based on their own merits. He is a god who's against trickery and using tricks against your enemies in battle. He thinks it should be a fair fight, you know. That's why he's competition, pride, and war. It's almost like the idea that like war as almost like just a game that the commanders are playing against their opponent.
I mean, can you really expect anything different from a priest of Argolo?
And she's like, I have to admit, I'm not very religious myself.
The gods exist.
The one goddess I have worshipped lately is Korsama. Out of character, she's the goddess of growth, health, harvest, prosperity, and nature. And she's like, and you can guess why. And she puts a hand on her belly.
I think I already did.
But anyways, though, so unless you have anything else to ask her or to say to her, she'll basically say like, thank you for like giving her the company. She's desperately needed it, and then she'll let you go back to your room.
I would just tell her to take care of herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go back to my room.
Okay. Sounds Gucci. And I think that is where we will end this session.
Also, I'd probably mention that I have a kid of my own.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like a point to bond over. Mm-hmm. I gotcha. Yeah, and she would appreciate that. But yeah, I think
But
that's.
I would not tell her that it's a wormling.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that will do it for this session. And we'll pick up next session.
Level up.
And no, not yet. We'll pick up next.
So much time has
So much time has passed.
We've done so many things.
Yeah.
But, I'll tell you guys when you level up next, when you make it back to Fellington.
What?
When we make it back to Fet.
When you make it back to Fellington is when you'll level up.
All right, boys. Next session, midnight. Let's go.
All right, it's nighttime right now. I can fly.
Yeah, no, you just fly right now.
Yeah,
no,
I
when
just
you're
fly
back
to
after
Fellington
this
to level
mission,
up.
basically, you know what I mean.
I teleport in 500.
You know what I mean.
1,000
It's
feet.
just finish this mission, get back, and then you level up.
But what if we're in Averton?
Could you imagine
4
if half of
weeks.
us just dip out and
If-
everyone
if
else in the morning's
something-
like, where did the
If
delegation
something
go?
happens and you have to go somewhere else, then I'll reevaluate and make a new milestone. But yeah. Don't worry about it. Anyways, though, so we'll pick up next session with you guys. The other people, the other two, going off and doing their own thing. Investigating for a bit. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, what's the time frame on this? Like, when did we get back to the room, and when did Miles get summoned?
This would have been like Miles would have been talking to the princess like an hour and a half after you guys got back to your room. So the timing will be a little weird there, but we'll see. We'll make it work.
Well, presumably we probably talked in the room for
yeah, a little
10,
bit.
20 minutes. So
Yeah.
we'll be out and about while this is happening.
Yep, that's the problem. So, anyways, though, we'll wrap up the session here. If you're watching on Twitch, thanks, and if you're watching on YouTube in the future,
Actually,
thank you for watching.
thinking about it,
Mm-hmm.
before I left, I would have given the princess a sending stone
Ooh.
and tell her that she can contact me using that.
Okay. What if your wife finds out?
Oh no, I can talk to more than one lady.
You know, dragons, they can be jealous creatures, you know.
I mean, yeah, they
And anyways, though, so
can, but
yeah. So I'm gonna wrap up the stream here for people watching on YouTube in the future. Thank you as well, and we'll see you next week or whenever. Bye.